Hey guys, we are in the basement, and today guys, on this episode of John's Arcade, and yes, the arcade is turned off on purpose because I want to turn the arcade on with you guys, because this right here is my year-end review video. Yes, it's an annual tradition. We are gonna take our time, and I'm not kidding, we're really gonna take our time. I don't care if this video is 3 hours, 4 hours, whatever this video needs to be, we're gonna talk about my world, the John's Arcade world, in great detail. And, well, we're gonna start in the basement, okay? Here's the plan, okay? So we're gonna start in the basement right here, and we're gonna go through every single game one by one. Now, what I wanna do is I wanna play every game. I wanna talk about every game, like how I got the game, some of the history behind the title itself, and we're gonna do that one by one, game by game, until we get through the entire basement. Now, this year, 2016, some things changed. We had some games leave. Right now, there's some holes in the basement, actually 3 to be exact. And actually, even with those holes, we still have over 30 games in the basement. So, anyway, after we get through all of the games in the basement, we're gonna go to the Hangar Pub and Grill in Amherst, Mass, because those missing games are there. Because this year was pretty big, actually, okay? Because I've been doing this kind of as a hobbyist, you know, for how many years now? 7, 8, whatever years it is. And so this year we made the leap to be an operator, okay? So my buddy Jay and I, we kind of partnered with this place called the Hangar Pub and Grill in Amherst, Mass, and we put 30 games in the bar. Yes, we did. And it's actually awesome. It's been a real learning experience. I've been there a lot fixing things. But anyway, I have some games there. So after we go through the basement, we're going to go to the hangar and check out the games that are there, okay, one by one, talk about them in great detail. And then we're going to come back. And then I think after that, we'll go upstairs, because I have some games upstairs on the main floor of my home. And then we'll go to the garage, and I'll show you guys all of the projects. And then also in between, I'm sure we'll check out some of the PCBs and stuff I have stored. And then what else do you guys want to do? I guess we can kind of reminisce after that about the year, because we did do a lot. You know, we traveled, of course. I have Hong Kong videos. Actually, I never released the Hong Kong video, and I'm going to do that actually in the next couple weeks. I have to edit it and just get it out. So we went to Hong Kong. We went to California Extreme. We went to Idaho. We did the Grink Fest, number 3 or 4 that we hosted with my podcast, Arcade Outsiders. We also did Brofest number 2 at Fun Spot, which is the new annual tournament. So we did a lot of stuff this year. We'll kind of reminisce about the on-the-road videos, because, again, there were a lot of them. And then also, I want to do viewer mail, okay? I printed up a lot of viewer mail. And also, I want to talk about the stats of the channel this year, because we had a lot of growth again. And then I'm thinking we'll make some popcorn. We'll have a year-end Pratt rum, okay? Because my one of my viewers, Ernest, sent me this very special rum in like this kind of Donkey Kong-looking barrel. So we'll have some of this, have some popcorn, and just enjoy ourselves. We earned it. We busted our butt this year. Also, this year we launched these, the John's Arcade branded cap kits that you can get at iankellogg.com. So anyway, enough of that. Why don't we just get into it, okay? Let's go turn the arcade on. And again, just buckle up, guys. This is gonna be a big episode. It really is. Probably my biggest year-end video ever, I'm guessing. So we've got so much ground to cover. And it's Sunday here. I'm starting at 6 p.m. This is probably silly of me. But anyway, all right, let's turn the arcade on. So this is one of the biggest questions I get asked, okay? Everyone wants to know, John, how do you turn the arcade on, okay? And so basically what I have is 4 breakers right here at the top of my steps, okay? And each one controls a 20 amp circuit, okay? So with a 20 amp circuit, you can kind of safely get 10, 12, 13 games on a circuit, okay? Right now I'm averaging 10 or less, or right around 10 or less per circuit, because I have like 30, I think there's 31 games in the basement right now. So I'm probably averaging, 7 to 8 games per circuit, which is totally safe, because most of the games are drawing about 1 to 1.5 amps. So if you had 10 games at 1.5 amps, that's 15 amps. Anyway, let's turn it on. And I usually kind of wait a little bit in between, okay? Now these covers that are super cool here, these are actually for swimming pools. They're like waterproof covers, okay? And you see it says suitable for wet locations. And so my electrician who did all this for me, actually I copied somebody on Claw that did this whole thing. I thought it was so cool. So I showed my electrician a photo of this, okay? And he copied the diamond plate and the sign, and he got all of this stuff. He just copied it exactly. Anyway, it's all wired up, and this is how I turn it on. So the arcade is turning to life right now. And you know, I've got a bunch of stuff here, all my lanyards from all the events we've been to. You know, I spoke at California Game Room Expo in 2015. This is a Grinkfest 2015 badge. So all my badges and stuff are here. I have a lot of signs and posters and stuff, you know, like this Space Paranoids, this Donkey Kong one, which I got like on eBay. This rusty looking, it's not really rusty though, it's fake, arcade sign that came from like Hobby Lobby or something. I have an Animal Crossing City Folk poster. So my friend Adam got this for me. This is a Mike McGill signed poster. I really like skateboarding and stuff, and let's kind of just look around here. This is a happy hour thing. This was actually from Willis, which is a big repro art maker. My wife got me this light here, and originally it was battery powered, and I converted it so I could power it with a little wall wart. So yes, all kinds of cool stuff here. Here's my ACAM poster. This was from the tournament back in 2011. So, and now, you know, we've been running this tournament the last couple years. This tournament actually kind of ended, and then me and my podcast, Arcade Outsiders, took it over. And then I have this dry erase board here, which I, for some reason, don't seem to update the artwork, and I really need to do that. My wife got me this, and it looks like little by little, everything's being erased as we walk down here. I have an Illinois Black Dog 7 plate. I'm from Chicago, and here's an old Whirlwind Translite. So anyway, that's it. The arcade is on, and then after I turn it on, I actually kind of make sure everything's working still, because that is a concern, okay? Now, I see right here, Mad Planets. Ah, so it looks like the memory got corrupted. So let's see. Yeah, we lost the scores. You know, it's funny. I was playing this last night, and so you could see on here that Mike Sampedro, who's a big high score guy, in August of 2016, he got 249,000 on here, and I was playing. Oh, his score's still there. Oh, we didn't lose the scores. Never mind. You know, every now and then you get that little error, because my point was, I was surprised last night that it still was keeping the scores, because I haven't been running the arcade as much in the last, like, you know, since the summer, and you really need to run that game for a while because it has a rechargeable battery in it. So anyway, all the games are working, okay? And by the way, if you guys are following me, you know, religiously, the journey is working right now, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. The monitor was having issues the last few videos. Okay, so where do you want to start? I guess we'll start in the beginning with Tempest, okay? Now, over here, as soon as you walk down, the first game is Tempest. Now, this is a Tempest Cabaret, okay? This is the smaller cabinet version, but everything about it, and by the way, if you guys have seen all these year-end videos, yes, we're gonna be repeating ourselves. That's just the nature of this video, so, but hopefully, we'll inject this with enough new information. So anyway, this right here is the Atari Tempest Cabaret, okay? Now, I really do dig Tempest. It's probably, let me turn this light off here, and we'll talk about that in a second too. So this game right here is a cabaret, which means it's smaller, okay? It's like a mini, okay? But the only thing mini about it is the cabinet. The monitor is full size, you know, the buttons and the spinner, all the controls, you know. So the gaming experience is the same as the upright, but it's a smaller cabinet. And they basically put it in these kind of wood grain cabinets, thinking that these smaller, little more classier, more adult games like this could go easier into a bar or a restaurant setting instead of these really loud games with these crazy graphics and that were maybe a little too edgy for a conservative restaurant, okay? And I actually happen to love these Atari Cabarets. I have two of them. I also have the Centipede upstairs that we'll talk about in a little bit. So anyway, this game right here, I got in a trade. Let's think about this. How did I get? Did I buy this game outright? I'm forgetting now. There's been so many games. So I believe that maybe I bought this game outright for cash. I don't remember. It's been a long time. It came with an extra monitor. That extra monitor I rebuilt and is now in my Quantum that we'll talk about in a little bit. But anyway, In general, I've done a lot of work to this game, especially in regards to the monitor and the edge connector. Actually, this summer, we were battling the Tempest all summer long. Like I would fix it, it would die, fix it, it would die. And then the monitor was just dead, and we worked on it for several weeks until I finally got it. We were having, well, first of all, the monitor was shutting down. We fixed that, we found bad transistors, and then it was like out of focus, and it turned out it was the neck board with some soldering. Anyway, I documented all of that in the previous videos. So why don't we just go ahead and just play the game? And by the way, I really like the Tempest though, because like the marquee's down here and it lights up. I just think it looks really cool. Am I wrong? So all right, let's start it out. And let's kind of talk about the controls here a little bit, right? So it has a spinner, okay? So it's really hard to replicate this in MAME. And guys will try, and also it's vector, so it's not a raster game, okay? You know, so meaning like the graphics here are all kind of like drawn like point to point instead of like a scan line, like a raster monitor. And this is an effect and a look that you can only get with a vector monitor, and this is a color vector monitor. And I love the way it looks. So anyway, the controls are a spinner, okay, which is unique, and you'll see a lot of guys in MAME trying to buy these spinners on eBay and putting them in their MAME cabinets, and then a fire and a zapper and a one player and a 2 player start button. And these are Atari cone buttons, you know, they light up. Now it's on free play, so they're just flashing continuously. So anyway, let's start here. Okay, so now I always start on level 9, which gives you a 54,000 point bonus when you finish. And so basically, you want to kill all of these red and purple things as they're coming at you, and if they touch you, they grab you and pull you into the abyss. Okay, and then there's those little pinwheel things, and there's a bit of a geometry here. You want obtuse angles, because those guys are going to swing around, and so right now, if they swing, it's obtuse, so I have a greater chance of shooting them. Now, if I was like this, that's acute, and they'll fall right on top of me, so whatever. That's the gist of the game. We should at least try to clear the level here before I die. But, you know, the sounds, I really do think this is the biggest vector game of all time. Let's hit our zapper, get out of here. So you have to have a clear path to leave. And so this summer, I rebuilt the edge connector, I replaced it, we rebuilt the monitor like several times, and the game has been very reliable since, knock on wood. And this game does have a reputation of just not being very reliable, but since we did what we did, it's been great. And I really do dig the game. It only saves the top 3 initials, so it doesn't matter. Anyway, so up here too, let's talk about this. So my wife got me this for Christmas a long time ago, and it's the John's Arcade always open LED light sign. I actually love it. It really lights the hallway perfectly, because you know when the arcade's on, I like to turn all the lights off and just have these kind of lights lighting everything, and of course the lights from the game. So I love that sign like a lot. Okay, so let's go on. So the next one here is Jump Bug. Okay, so this is a Rockola game. This is actually pretty rare, and this was a project that we, oh my god, I am losing track of time. Did we restore this last year? We did. Was this yeah, this was a 2015 restore. And this was a game that showed up on Craigslist, I think, for like $50. And my friend Ty Laurie in New York, he helped me get this game here. And there was this guy, Ed, that trucked it here to my house from like Rochester or something. I don't remember, but I paid like, I want to say $75 or $100 to get it here, and like $75 for the game itself. So I probably paid less than $200 to have this game delivered to my house. Now, when I got it, though, it was definitely a basket case, though. It was not working. It was very, very rough, but it was all there. Everything was there, which is what you want when you're restoring these games. So basically, this was a complete teardown restoration, top to bottom, and I think it really, really turned out nice. I would say that, you know, me or my friend Sean Williams and myself probably have the best jump bugs in the world. And so this here has laminate on it. Very thin vertical grade laminate on the sides, because the sides were just blown out. The artwork was blown out. This is reproduction side art from Rich at this old game. This is an original marquee. Who sent me this? Was it Etienne or Leslie Dean? Oh boy. I'm sorry, guys. I can't remember. Someone from the Netherlands, I think it was Leslie or Dean or Etienne, sent me this marquee. And you guys know who you are, so thank you. I'm sorry, it's escaping me right now. so it's original bezel. This is an original marquee. This is the original control panel. It has some cigarette burns in it. Doesn't bother me even the least bit because it's all there. It's all original. And you know, this jump bug, you know, control panel overlay is special with the little jump bug instruction right here, because a lot of the Rockola games, it was just all blue and this was missing. So to have the original one right here is amazing. So basically, you know, what I did is I tore this whole game down. All the blue was spray painted. I used Rust-Oleum. It actually turned out great. Restored the coin door the best I could. At the time, I was missing these parts. I actually have them now, so I should probably finish the coin door. But in general, everything's perfect except for this down here. And these are all very common parts that I could fix very quickly. But it's all here. Original joystick. You know, this was all painted with blue, spray paint. It was actually a really successful restoration. And I didn't think at the time that I was going to be able to, because this is all like particle board, like really cheap. And that Rust-Oleum really worked great on it. I just think it looks fantastic. So let's play the game. It's a little quirky. It's a funny little game. It doesn't have free play, so we have to coin up. So let me coin it up. Oh no, wait. I gotta hit the credit switch. I gotta figure out a better way to coin this game up, because the credit board that's in there, it's very easy to short it to something. All right, now this game is based on Galaxian hardware, so that like Starfield is like literally right out of Galaxian. So it's a very, very strange game, but I like it a lot. It's a fun one to play for high score. And it's kind of like a rhythm game. Like I'm rhythmically bouncing on these buildings, collecting these money bags. And you just kind of want to get them all. And then the levels are going to start changing. This is actually the first side-scrolling platform game, believe it or not. It has that, I guess, what's the word I'm looking for? That accolade, is that the word I want? it claims that as the first side-scrolling platformer. So we're getting these money bags. I know, it's a weird game, right? And the longer you're in this hobby, the more you start seeking out weird games like this. Because after you get the Pac-Mans and the Donkey Kongs and all that stuff, where do you go? You go for this stuff. All right, oh no. All right, so these clouds here have point values on them. See, this one has a question mark. So every time I bounce on it, look at my score. I'm getting 400 points every time I bounce. And that's a really big secret here to point pressing this game in the early stages here. So you want to do it on the, yeah, that's 400 points every single time. And I lost some momentum here. Speeding up here. Just trying to point press. Kill that Joker dude. I think I should have said it has that claim to fame. That would have worked. First side-scrolling platformer. I mean, what do you guys think, huh? So here, now we're going into this other little area here, which is like this kind of cavern. And I like that the fact that these worlds just keep changing like this. So that little geyser there will not hurt you. And after you get the money bags down here, they turn into bad guys. So after you get the money, you have to get off of it as fast as possible. So now we're trying to basically get out of here. And there's an exit up here. And there's those little monster holes right there. Ah! So yeah, that's Jump Bug. You guys get the idea. So let's kind of move on. I think if we try to play a full game on everything, this video will never end. But we got to the third level. That's pretty good, right? Okay, the next game here is Ice Cold Beer. And this is a very unique game. It's a very, very cool game. Released by Taito, okay? You know, Taito is a great company. They made a lot of games that I love. This came out in what, 81, I believe? No, 83. And mine is basically 1000% original. I haven't done much to it at all. When I got it, it was dead, it wasn't working, and I replaced the belts, okay? And basically this game here, there's this metal rod, okay, that you're controlling with 2 joysticks. One joystick controls this side, one joystick controls that side. And what you want to do is you want to get the ball into the lit hole, okay? And you'll see that holes are numbered, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, okay? And the object of the game is to get the ball into the 10th hole, you know, one at a time consecutively, okay? So you start out on the bottom, it's easy. You get it into hole 1, then you go to 2, 3, 4 to 10, etc. And that's really it. And you control the little lever with 2 joysticks left and right. So this one controls this side, this one controls that side, and you're basically just kind of controlling this little rod, you know, and the ball's rolling on it. It's very neat. So let's just play it, because it's the only way to explain it is to show you. So I have this little chair here. And it's the best ice cold beer chair ever. It's actually a drum stool. It's a Gretsch drum stool. I actually bought that on eBay thinking it was a full-size stool, and it wasn't. It was a short one, and I was like, oh, I was kind of bummed out. And then I realized it's the perfect height for ice cold beer, because ice cold beer is weirdly low. So if you want to sit down, even to stand, it feels weird. But to sit with the drum stool, it's the perfect height. Okay, let's play. So I'll try to show you guys this the best I can. So let's start the game. And the music's great, by the way. Okay, so we want to get into hole 1. So you can see left joystick does that, right joystick does that, okay? And there's a time limit. The faster you go, the more bonus you get. You see this little clock is counting down? And so right now it says 70, I got 70 points. And then basically what happens is, if you get to number 10, this star right here lights up. And you're supposed to go find the bartender and say, look, I got to number 10, the star's lit up, I get a free beer. And that was kind of the idea. Oh my God. So I just got it into the wrong hole right there. Really a neat game though. It's just so unique. And over time too, it's these type of games with these very unique experiences that become the ones that you love the most and want to keep or seek out. And this game is just completely itself. I mean, there's nothing like it. So that's number 3. So let's see if we can get to 4. So right now my score is 530. So my friend Ted up here, I'll show you my little high score things. All right. There's 4. So you get the idea. So you just keep going, it gets progressively harder, and actually, once you get to 10, it starts back on 1, but then the game starts kind of screwing with you, and it starts moving the bar on its own. Let's end the game. So many balls we have left. This is the last one. All right, so that's ice cold beer. And then also, you know, the one thing I did do though is that my friend in Illinois, Greg, he actually sent me a new bezel, because mine was really blown out, and these usually are. He found a bunch of new old stock bezels. Now this one had some issues that I touched up with acrylic paints, but my friend Greg, he sent me this. It looks beautiful, way better than the one I had on there before. And then also I'll show you up here, and you'll notice this on my games as we go along, okay? I have these little high score cards, and this is how I keep track of high scores for games that don't keep high scores. Also for some games that do too, because I just like the little cards. And you can see my friend Ted in 2014, he got 18,560. Now, I used to print those out, and I'll show you what we're doing now. Because one of my viewers sent me like thousands and thousands of these. so these are John's Arcade Post-it notes. They're amazing. And so we've been giving these away over at iankellogg.com, and I'm going to do a giveaway soon. So I'm going to be giving these away a lot over the course of the year. And these are little high score, like I said, Post-it notes. You write the score down, and you just stick it on the game. They're super cool. All right, let's move on. So the next game is Atari Firefox, and this is a game that I picked up on Craigslist. When I bought it, it was dead. The laserdisc player was completely dead. I never got it working. I attempted to fix it. It's a very rare Philips laserdisc player, and I really did try to fix it on my own. I ended up sending it to this gentleman named Franz, who has had it now for a year and a half, and he never was able to fix it, and maybe someday he will. And yes, by the way, this is a laserdisc game, okay? So the video that you're seeing in the background is coming from a laserdisc player. However, this doesn't have a laserdisc player. It has the Dexter laserdisc player replacement. Now, Dexter was made by Matt Ownby and my buddy Warren, okay? And it's a modern solid-state device that basically has the video files on an SD card. Now, it's simulating, or I don't know if it's emulation or what, but basically, what's inside this game is all original hardware, but the Laserdisc player has been replaced by this Dexter board, and basically the video's coming out of it, but the original hardware, the original PCBs are controlling Dexter and telling it what video files to play. And this game right here, Firefox, is based on the Clint Eastwood movie, if you're not aware. And this was a movie that I did watch as a kid. It was very, very cool, kind of crazy Cold War stuff, where Clint Eastwood was going to Russia to steal the Firefox jet, you know, because they had some really uber, you know, high-tech jet that was going to threaten the U.S. or something. So he had to break into Russia as a spy and steal the plane and bring it back to the U.S. And when I was a kid, that stuff kind of blew my mind. So anyway, the cabinet is super cool. It's very reminiscent of, well, a lot of the other later Atari cabinets, like iRobot that we have over there. Also Major Havoc and Return of the Jedi. This was kind of a style they were experimenting with towards the end, you know, towards I guess towards the middle of the 80s. This game probably came out in 83 or 84. I don't recall, actually. But anyway, it's got this kind of head like this, and then like a narrow body, and then like a pedestal on the bottom right there. Now this has a yoke controller. It's the same one that you find on Star Wars, and yeah, it came out in 83. It has a yoke controller right here, which is the same one that you find on Star Wars. In this game, you're using the triggers to fire, and then you have a guided missile that you're firing with the thumb button. So why don't we go ahead and just play the game? It's a neat game. It's hard, actually. Oh, by the way, the one thing I want to point out down here that's really cool is it has, which I think is really revolutionary. This was a very radical idea, if you ask me. Right here, there's a headphone jack and a volume knob, you know. So, you know, we all had Walkmen in the early 80s, right? We're all walking around with our Walkmen. You go to the arcade and plug your Walkman headphones right into the game. Especially in a noisy arcade, you can kind of escape and hear all the sounds. I thought that's cool. I'm surprised like every game didn't have this, because that's really a very smart idea. I'm surprised it didn't really catch on. There's other games that do that too, like the Neo Geo has that. Anyway, let's just kind of play here. So anyway, everything in the background is Laserdisc, and then everything like this is generated by the video game PCB. So it's kind of a mixture of laser, like video in the background. Like all of this is Laserdisc, like the map and all that. So let's do easiest. That's all coming from the Laserdisc. So is that right there. Hey, where's my sound? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Why is there no sound? Oh, boy. Wow, there's no sound, guys. What's going on here? You know, I haven't played this in a while. Don't tell me that the game has issues. Let's see if we can fix this. Huh. I'm gonna try rebooting the game here. Well, that's interesting. Let me see if I can unplug it and plug it back in. Let's see if we can get some kind of different result here. All right, which plug is it? Is it this one? Yeah. So the audio amplifier, I'm trying to think where the sound is coming from. No errors detected. Was this just like a freak little thing? No errors detected for ROM. All right, I'm in the test mode right now. Where are we? All right, so we're kind of looping the test mode here. Let's get out of the test mode. I had the test aux coin to continue. Yeah, there's no sound. What is up with that? Well, that sucks. Well, I guess we'll have to look at that later. I had no idea that was happening. I mean, I haven't played this game in probably 2 or 3 weeks, and I wonder what happened. Could be something really stupid. I think it's got original AR power supplies, and the Atari AR power supplies have audio amps on them, so I'll have to look at those. We might have to rebuild the power supplies. Weird. So, all right, well, Firefox is missing sounds. Go figure. All right, let's move on. Boy, that's going to bug me. All right, so here's Golden Tee 4. So I bought this game, well, a while ago. I bought it from an operator, and when I got it, it had Golden Tee 2005. And this was a game that I played a lot, like a ton at the bars. When my wife and I were dating, we played Golden Tee like all the time. That's what we did. And we were probably playing like Golden Tee 99 or something like that, or 98 or 97 or whatever it was they had back then. This came out in 2006, so it's a little bit newer. It's the 4 series. Now mine is the complete. I upgraded it, and it has all of the courses from the 4 series, so like 2004 and 5 and 3 and all that stuff. So there's like 27 courses total, and it's the version to get if you're going to get the 4 series. Now this is the old, version of the game. Right now they have like Golden Tee Live, and it's a lot more advanced, and usually with an LCD screen. This is running on a 27-inch medium res Wells Gardner K7500. The one thing that I did install in here, which I think is pretty cool, is I installed what they call the perfect... Boy, I cannot believe the Firefox sound is not working. That is going to bother me. I wonder if we plug headphones in, we could hear... I don't know. So this game... I should do that, actually. Wouldn't that be kind of a neat little test? I've never used a headphone jack on that. Like, if I plugged headphones in here... and the sound's working, then what does that mean? It means there's no amplification, so it could be the AR. Let's try this. I've never used headphones before. Yeah, there's no sound. Wait. There's nothing. So I don't know, is this a PCB issue? Or is it an AR issue? I don't know. We'll worry about it later. Anyway, going on. I installed the HAP Perfect Switcher Kit. Is it HAP? I don't remember. But anyway, I have these 2 buttons right here that I added. And if the green button is lit, it's on Golden Tee, okay? And then if you press the blue button, it switches to Silver Strike Bowling. So I basically have 2 boards in here, or computers. Well, the Silver Strike is a full-on PC setup. And then Golden Tee is a PCB with a hard drive, and the PCB has like a GeForce, 3D effects, like Voodoo video card on it, and it's pretty crazy. Actually, you guys want to see it? Let me see if I can open this up real easy. I'll show you guys kind of the whole setup here. Now you won't be able to see the Silver Strike computer because it's all the way on the bottom, but here's the basic setup right here. And so this right here is the Golden Tee complete board. This is the hard drive for the Golden Tee, and then right here is the Perfect Solution, which is made by not HAP. It's called the Perfect Solution, and this is a switcher board that is designed to switch Golden Tee and Silver Strike. And you could probably use it with Bags and all those other games too that are similar. I think it's just Bags. Yeah, I think so. Bags and Silver Strike and Golden Tee all have basically the same configuration. This kind of JAMA. It is JAMA, but what you're switching out is the controls for the trackball and all that. So that Perfect Solution Kit does that. So anyway, Golden Tee here. You can see the 3D effects video card. And then the computer for Silver Strike I have all the way in the back on the bottom of the cabinet. But I really like this thing. I didn't pay a ton for this. Well, initially I didn't. I did invest a lot of money in this cabinet. And right now the monitor is not right. It took me a couple years to actually figure this out. The operator, you can see that it's vertically challenged. There's an inch in top and bottom missing. Well, the operator sold me he sold me this game with a 27-inch monitor, but with a K7500 chassis that was from a 25-inch monitor, and I verified this because of the values that are on there, and so we're missing the top and bottom. I changed out the resistors that are supposed to be different, didn't fix it. So I need to get the right chassis. I actually have one. I need to rebuild it. So But anyway, I like this setup. It's very useful. And, you know, I got the topper up there working, which I think is really cool. Now, it's kind of trapped in that state. It can't update itself. I think it can update itself, but it can't get any new information. See, it says, welcome to Drifties. so that's the bar that this board was in at one point, Drifties. so anyway, do you guys want to just, we could try a little Silver Strike. So, you know, this is a very, I think, fun bowling game. It's a great game to come down here with your wife and have a beer. All right, and you know, it's bowling. And I'm not very good at it.
Maybe next time, he should consider starting with ball 2. Ball 2.
And I don't think you control it after you throw it.
Ends the frame with 4 up. First ball.
All right, here we go. So yes, it's bowling. All right, let's move on. Okay, the next game here. Well, what do you think, guys? Pretty special, right? Where do I begin with this one? All right, guys, what you're looking at right here is a 1971 yellow computer space made by Nutting and Associates. Okay, what's special about this game? Well, it's the first commercial video game ever. That's right, it's the first video game ever, guys. Right here, you're looking at it. This is it. Now, this is the rare yellow one. Maybe 20 of these in the world, and I have one. Yes, I'm very proud to have this game. And you look at the control panel here, okay? And yeah, this is the first video game. I mean, look how crude this is. So it says here, Nutting and Associates, okay? So they're the manufacturer. And then over here, it says Syzygy Engineered, okay? Syzygy. So this game was designed by Syzygy, manufactured by Nutting. Now, what's important to note here is that Syzygy, okay, the company that designed this game, Computer Space, they engineered it and all that, okay? This was their first game. It's the first commercial video game, but this game was kind of a flop. I think it sold pretty okay, but it didn't light the world on fire like they hoped. Anyway, they separated, they severed ties with Nutting, and then they renamed the company from Syzygy to Atari. That's right, Atari. And then the next game they released was called Pong, okay? And really, that's when the whole video game craze exploded right then, okay? But this is the game before it. And so a Syzygy is Atari. This is Nolan Bushnell's company and Ted Dabney. Yes, Nolan and Ted Dabney started Syzygy. They designed and engineered the PCBs, made this game work on a television set. Yes, it's a television set in here. This is an old GE vacuum tube television. I mean vacuum tube, like the kind in old radios and guitar amps, you know, vacuum tubes. When I got it, the TV was not working. I replaced all the tubes. It fixed that, okay? And Nolan also designed the cabinet, which, by the way, is fiberglass, okay? This yellow here is fiberglass, and really, what a crazy idea, right? So, I mean, they didn't know what a video game should be, right? How would they know, right? There never was a video game, because really, when this game came out, everything was electromechanical, you know, like pinball machines and gun machines and all that, and so they didn't know what a video game should look like, so they thought it should look like the future, right? So they designed this crazy cabinet. I guess Nolan had this made at like some like a bathtub or boat maker or something, you know, had these cabinets made up, and thank God it's fiberglass, because this game was sitting in a trailer for 20 years down in Alabama. This gentleman, Wesley, sold this to me, and I think it got wet, and because it was fiberglass, nothing happened, you know. When I got it, it was filthy on the top here, because like stuff had dripped on here and gone down. It was really disgusting, but it all cleaned up because it was fiberglass, right? And if you look over here too, this is really interesting. There's a tag on here. It says Timeout Family Amusement Center Incorporated, East 39th Street, New York, New York. So this was an East Coast game, okay? Was in New York State or something, and what I like to think about is, was this in Jaws? Because in the movie Jaws, yes, Steven Spielberg's movie Jaws, there is a yellow computer space. Is it possible that my game was in the movie Jaws? I think it's very likely. The odds are actually not that bad because there's about 20 yellow ones in this world. So does that mean the odds that my game was in the movie Jaws is what, 1 in 20 potentially? So I don't know. It's fun to think about. And also, I have to thank my friend Adam and Warren because they really helped me get this thing working. Because when I got it, it was completely dead. And so Warren and Adam came over here a couple times and helped me debug the PCB. We identified the problems with some of the chips. And really, this was a very inexpensive game to fix. It was like 3 or 4 chips, like, you know, worth like $10 that were replaced, that brought this whole thing back to life. The TV, again, I fixed by replacing all the tubes. That came to life. It was dead when I got it. The control panel here, we cleaned up and replaced the bulbs, and I replaced the springs in here. And it's been playing great. And so do you guys want to play it? It's a very crude kind of precursor to Asteroids. And actually, this game was based on Space War, which is a game that was basically played on PDP mainframe computers in like MIT colleges in Stanford and stuff like that, or Caltech, or one of those in California, I don't know. So let's coin up. This game there's no free play. So there's no dip switch settings or any of that kind of stuff. So let's put a quarter in, and let's press start now. Okay, so the game has started here, and so we have rotate left and rotate right, and we have thrust, okay? And we're basically battling these UFOs. You see them? Isn't this crazy? I mean, look at this game. And after you fire the missile, you can actually guide it. So there, we got it. And the fact that there's like collision detection just blows my mind, because this game is literally just drawing dots on the screen. And so basically we are trying to beat the UFO. So if you look on the right here, it says 4-2. So my score is 4, the UFOs have 2. The bad guys have 2. And there's a little bit of like AI. And by the way, there's no computer. Even though this game is called Computer Space, there's no CPU. This is all done with TTL, okay? Like resistors and capacitors and very basic transistor logic, okay? No CPU, no computer, no brains. It's amazing that this thing works. What do you guys think, huh? I know it's crude, but you know, considering this is the first commercial video game ever, I think it's actually really crazy, because I think Pong, the game that came after this, is so much more simplistic in its logic and everything about it. Like, this game actually there's no AI in Pong. So there you go. We lost, by the way, 9-7. If we were to win, we'd go into hyperspace and the colors would inverse and we'd have a kind of like a bonus round. So yeah, that's Computer Space. Amazing, amazing game. I am just thrilled and so proud that I have this. It really is the jewel in the crown, isn't it? Is that the saying? And really, there's a lot of things that they did here that became kind of standard. You know, buttons, rotate left, rotate right, and coin reject, and all that, and the lights, and the marquee, and I don't know. It's super cool. Computer Space. All right, next to it, another pretty, not rare, but desirable game. This is a Taito game from '83. Zookeeper, one of my favorite games without a doubt. Very, very playable and fun game. And the cabinet is killer, right? Look at it. Artwork's great. So Zookeeper has a reputation of being a game that's hard to keep working because it has a lot of RAM chips on it and those sockets usually go bad. There's like 30 or 40, like 4116 RAM sockets in the back, and so anyway, the problems you have with this game is the RAM and the sockets, and mine was no different. When I got it, actually I bought this in pieces, and it took me a while to get all the pieces, but I eventually did. First, I got the cabinet with a bunch of artwork that was really bad, like the marquee and the bezel were blown out, and the board didn't work, but the cabinet was there. And then someone had like a kit, and I bought that kit. So I basically took the parts game I had and the kit I bought and combined them and made the best cabinet I could. And that's what you're looking at right here. And initially, again, the boards didn't work at all. I replaced all the RAM. everywhere. I didn't replace the sockets, and eventually I got it working, and here it is. And you had to do like a coin door bypass chip and all kinds of weird, stupid stuff, but I eventually got it working, and again, here it is. So I didn't do anything really as far as a restoration. What you're looking at is all original. This is original battle-worn 1980s, you know, fatigue on here. So the control panel, you know, it's got some tears and stuff. Doesn't bother me at all because this is all original. I have a reproduction I could put on here. I don't want to ruin the history of it. I think it looks just really good. And this is the original glass bezel and marquee. And these are usually blown out because behind here are incandescent bulbs that really heat up the reverse printed silkscreen glass, and over time it starts flaking. So mine looks really good for all original. But let's play the game. It's really a lot of fun. And if you guys watch the channel, you know we've talked about and played this game quite a bit. Controls are very simple. We have a 4-way joystick. I believe it's 4-way. I don't think it's 8-way. I don't think there'd be a reason to do 8-way on this game. It's 4-way, I believe, and then jump. That's it. And it's a Wicco joystick. Okay, so the object of the game here is basically to jump over as many animals as possible. And that's how you get the big points. Now, on the surface, it looks like you want to keep the animals inside the cage. It's not really at all what you want to do. You want to let them all out and control the groupings of them. Now, in the beginning here, it's very slow. And what you need to do will not be obvious until we get into 4 or 5 levels deep, because the game ramps up very slowly. That's the only negative I have about this game. And it kind of makes you think about like how Atari allows you to start on a later level, you know, and you'll get a little bonus. I kind of wish they did that with this game. It's like right now I jumped over 3 snakes, I got 2,000 points. So let's if you put them back in the cage before the timer runs out, you do get a little bit of a bonus for everyone that's in there. But it's a very small bonus. You get bigger points by jumping the animals. All right, so this is a little bonus level. We gotta get to the top here and rescue the girl. Very kind of Donkey Kong-ish. And if you land on the platform before getting her, you get a little 2,500 point bonus. All right, so things are gonna start ramping up now. So I'm just trying to control the animals so I can jump them. So let's kind of get this. And basically how this game works is that if you're standing to the right of the opening, they're going to go to the left. See that? They always go the opposite way. So right now I'm kind of controlling the animals and they're going the direction I want them to. But we've already lost so much time. So that jump was 2,000. So 2,000. Again, it ramps up slowly. You'll see here in a second as the animals start getting more aggressive after the next bonus level. So I'm just trying to get through these levels so we can get to the real meat and potatoes of this game. Alright, where's that net? I guess we'll try to get some points here. Got an 8,000 point jump right there. I'm just gonna see if I can throw them all back in there and get the bonus points. Okay, so now here comes the bonus level. And this is very similar to the first bonus level, but the one after it is not. So I got 5,000 points that time for landing on the platform. All right, so here's the next bonus level. And this one, if we get to the top, we get a free life. And you could point press right here, but it's really risky. Okay, so we save the girl and we get a little free life there. Okay, so here comes the next level. All right, now's where things get a little interesting. So I'm gonna put them all back in their cage. And the idea here is I want them all to go in the same direction. Okay, so now I want to get them all going left. Oh, look at this grouping right here. I got 6,000 right there. So here comes a big grouping. Come on, come on. Here comes a big group right here. Come on! 30,000 point jump right there. Look at that, right there. 30,000 point jump. 15. Look at my score. Look how it's going up. Oh! So that's how you play the game. And now the lion's here. Now it's going to get really hardcore. Here we go. Here comes a nice grouping. Come on. Come on, guys. 15,000. Just trying to get good groupings here. This is a pretty good game for me. All right, anyway, you guys get the idea. We can't play every game in its entirety. All right, let's move on. Next game here is pole position. Oh my God, I love pole position. Guys, this is my top 2 favorite game. My favorite game in the whole world is Donkey Kong. After that, it's this game right here, pole position. I just don't get sick of playing pole position. I don't know what it is. I just love it. Everything about it, I love. It's just like the perfect driving game. It's just perfection to me. Like the controls, it's so fluid. Everything about it. Let me put my initials in here. They just really knocked it out of the park with this game. Now, this game was designed by Namco in Japan, distributed by Atari in the US. And so, you know, Namco has its own cabinet, Atari has their own cabinet, and this is the Atari version, which we had in the US. Now, this is the upright version. They also had a cockpit. I actually really like the upright version. I have no problem with it at all. The cockpit's cool, but I'm so used to playing the upright that I just kind of like this better at this point. The controls are cool, I think. The joystick is like full 360, which to me is the game. Like that is the sport of the game. Just the way that controls, you have a shifter low and high and that's it. You have this kind of vacuum form shroud around here, but it's just a great game. Now my high score in this game, my friend Matt's high score is 65,310, which is really good. The world record's like 66 or 67,000. My high score is like 64,710 around there. I got that at Grinkers. So I'm like 1,000 or 2,000 points away from the world record. My friend Matt's like maybe 1,000 points, but we played this game a ton. Now I got this game from my buddy Jay. I traded him, and actually we'll talk about this when we go to the hangar. I traded him a red Donkey Kong cabinet for this, and the red Donkey Kong cabinet was a versus Super Mario at the time. And it was a great trade because this is my favorite game. I played the living heck out of it, and I just love it. And I've actually since got another. I've owned 3 pole positions actually. Well, I've owned this one, and then I had another pole position that I sold, and then I got a pole position 2, which is at the hangar, and we'll talk about that when we go there too. So anyway, let's just play a game. It's just great. It's so fun, and I don't know if we're gonna play a full race. I don't. Can we play every single game fully in this video? So what's cool about this game is the first lap here is the qualifying lap, okay? And basically, you want to get a really good time, you know, better than 58, 50, I think it is. And then if you do, you get the pole position, which is first place in the main event and also a 4,000 point bonus. And then this turn right here, and by the way, there is a little hack or cheat there that I did a video on that a gentleman figured out, and I did a whole video on it, and it's really interesting. Go back and watch it. I have a pole position hack video. So I think I need to finish right here with 58. I got 56. So we get the pole position, we get a 4,000 point bonus, and now it's the main event. Okay, and the main event is it 5 laps? 4 laps? So you want to shift around 130 or so. All right, so this is the main event. And basically you want to finish the race. There is an ending to this game, which is why I like it so much, because you don't just sit here and play the game forever. It is a finite race. You need to get your best score. Oh, that was good. Within the number of laps. I think it's 5. I forgot the setting. But I have mine set to the Twin Galaxy tournament settings, which is a little more aggressive and faster, and really the only way I can play it. And if you have it on the harder settings, you'll actually get a higher score. If you have it on the default settings, you'll never get in the 60,000s. It's not possible. Whoa. All right. All right, here comes his turn. Okay. All right. You want to avoid the puddles. And pole position 2, the puddles, oh my god, it's so much harder. Woo! Having a good game here. I don't want to jinx myself. Is this the last lap on her? Alright. Ah! Oh man, I almost did it on that turn there. No, I'm falling apart now. Boy, that was a good run, wasn't it? Come on, at least finish the race, please. Ah. That was a great game. So you can see why I love this game. Boy, I really fell apart there. That could have been my best game ever. Instead, it's my 37th. Boy, I fell apart quick, huh? So yes, pole position. Amazing. All right, next game is track and field. So this game here I bought from a buddy that was getting out of the hobby. He had a bunch of projects he was selling, and so he started this and I finished it. And basically, he's the one that painted the cabinet. He actually did a pretty good job painting it, and I basically put it all together because it was basically a bunch of parts I got. And this cabinet is wired JAMA, okay, which is not right, but it doesn't matter. It all worked out fine. So basically the JAMA harness is connected to a Konami adapter, okay, which is what this is. It's a Konami game. And then I wired all the buttons to the right spots for the buttons on the control panel. It looks great. It's the insides, the guts. Well, the board's original. The harness just isn't. But really, at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. The wiring's all going to the right spot. It all functions. The overlay is reproduction, I think, from this old game. Oh man, the journey collapsed again. I thought I fixed it. I'm so mad right now. Because last night I pulled the game out and I'm like, there's no way I'm doing the year-end review with Journey down. And look at that, the monitor went. There's definitely something heat-related, okay, like a cold solder joint on that. Because yesterday I pulled the game out and I went in the back and I started wiggling the connections near the jumpers. And it's a G07 in there. And I was able to make the picture come back. So what we're going to do this week is I'm going to pull the monitor out and we're going to reflow all the solder on the back of the board, on the back of the chassis and the monitor. And I bet you we fix it forever. So we'll do that later. Anyway, what was I saying about track and field? So this game was designed by Konami in Japan, released or distributed and sold in the U.S. by Century. This is a Century cabinet, with the raised letter coin door and all that stuff. I restored that coin door, and we'll talk about that. Actually, I had a viewer mail about this topic. Basically, you just paint this and then sand off the paint and reveal the high points, which is the logo. But this game's been very reliable. I don't have a lot of money invested in it. I do have full side art, which I never put on. I don't know why. I think actually when I restored it in the garage, I didn't have the side art, and then I brought it down here, and then I ended up getting the side art, and I just never put it on after I brought it in the basement. So I keep saying I'm going to do it, and I never have done it. So we really should put the side art in one of these videos here. But anyway, let's play the game. This is an amazing game. When I was a kid, I played this a lot at the Fireside Roller Rink in Hoffman Estates, Illinois. And I remember seeing the older kids would use like combs to cheat, and there was like some way to put the comb like in between your finger and go like this or something. I don't know. I could never figure it out. But this is an Olympic theme game, and controls are very simple. Left and right. So let's go and put my initials in.
On your mark.
And so basically, I want to hit the buttons left and right as fast as I can here. And you want that kind of left and right rhythm. And I'm the guy in the bottom. And there's various events. So this is the 100-meter dash. I need to get 13 to qualify, and I got 9.94. So, oh, I did beat the CPU by just a little bit. God, I'm so mad about that journey. All right, so this is the long jump. And you want to get about 45 degrees. To qualify, you need 7 meters. We're not going to qualify then. So, I mean, this is the game. You go through all these various events. You know, there's javelin throw, there's the high jump, there's hurdles. And it's just a great game. They make a 4-player version, which is a cocktail. Woo! And I did not qualify. So you guys get the idea. There's a 4-player version that's a cocktail. The upright is 2 players. And they also did a sequel that's called Hyper Sports, which is okay. It's got like the best event in there is skeet shooting on Hyper Sports. Anyway, let's move on. So the next cabinet here is Mario Brothers. This is the wide body. Okay, I think track and field is gonna freak out on me, because we're not playing. Anyway, the next cabinet is Mario Brothers. This is a 1983 Nintendo game. This is the original dedicated one. Again, it's the wide body because it's wider than a standard Nintendo cabinet. If you compare that cabinet over here to these, you'll see it's significantly wider. And also, the one thing that's different is on the original cabinets like Popeye and Donkey Kong Jr., Donkey Kong 3, the speaker grill is on the left side, okay? So if you're on Craigslist and you see a Nintendo cabinet with the speaker grill in the center, that's the dead giveaway that it's a Mario Brothers wide body, and you should grab it because these are getting, I feel, rarer, and I don't see them come up for sale nearly as much. Now this one I bought on eBay for about $350 probably 5-6 years ago, okay? And you know, this game came out after Donkey Kong, came out after Donkey Kong Jr., and it's really where they figured out the roadmap for Mario going forward, because the game after this was then Super Mario Brothers, and as we know, everything changed. But just look at what's going on in this game, because Donkey Kong, you know, a lot of the stuff that's in Donkey Kong is not in Super Mario. A lot of the stuff that's in Mario Brothers is in Super Mario Brothers and is really a big part of the Nintendo universe today. You know, it's the first game with Luigi, okay? It's got the green pipes, right? It's got the turtles. It's got all of the things that are just part of Nintendo's lexicon today. A lot of it started right here in this game. And I'm sure Miyamoto, when he made Super Mario Brothers, he said, oh, why don't I just take this and have it so that it scrolls? You know, that's really all he did, right? I mean, look at it. It's the same kind of thing. You hit the bad guy from underneath. I started a 2-player game, stupidly. And I used to play this game a lot at home, too. I had this for the Atari 800 XL, and I really enjoyed it. But, you know, the idea of coming underneath and hitting the brick, you know, established here, the POW, the coins, I mean, it all started in this game. Like, way more than Donkey Kong. I mean, Donkey Kong introduced Mario. That's it. This game introduced everything else. Look at the bricks on the bottom. I mean, this is Nintendo. So yeah, it's a fun game. It's even more fun with 2 people. My friend Matt and I actually were trying to get the world record, 2 players simultaneous. It was a lot of fun. We obviously didn't do it. It's actually very hard, but we tried for the first year when I first got this game. So I didn't do a lot to this game. This thing is all original. This overlay is original. I didn't touch this. Original joysticks, original buttons. I bought it again on eBay. I picked it up from a guy down in Connecticut. It was, you know, just some guy that had one game and this was it. And I don't know how he got it. It was in his family for a long time or something, but it's a great game. It's been very reliable. The monitor is the only thing the only thing I ever did to this game was I capped, actually, Adam. One of the very first, you know Adam from One Circuit. One of the very first times I ever met Adam was when he helped me cap this monitor, because it was when I was very new to the hobby and I was scared to do the cap jobs, and Adam helped me. And we capped the monitor, and it's been working great since. So, all right, let's move on. Next game here is Mad Planets. Super rare game, guys. This is a Gottlieb game, and it's super neat. This is a very, very, very cool game. Like super cool. And this game right here, I bought from John XD in Colorado. You know, you remember we went to the one-up, I did a couple of videos down there in Denver. John's a big, long-time collector, and I bought this from him like about 4 years ago, I think, and I shipped it from Denver to my house. And it is a very neat and rare game. The cabinet profile is the same as Q*bert, okay? And so a lot of people now actually are building these cabinets from scratch because J-Rock came out with the multi-Gottlieb board, okay? Which basically has Q*bert and Mad Planets and all that on it. So people are building Mad Planets from scratch. Now this is all original, 1000%. The only thing I ever did to this game was I rebuilt the power supply. It's got an original Gottlieb power supply, and that's it. It's been pretty reliable. I don't even think I touched the monitor. The one thing I really liked about this game is like the music and the sounds. It's very cool, actually. It's very synthy. The controls are super unique and super not cheap to acquire because like this Gottlieb joystick here, which is the same as like in Mach 3, the laserdisc game, with the little Gottlieb insert right here, okay? We have a 1-player and 2-player start button and then a rotate knob, which is similar to Tempest but not the same. The guts in here are very unique and not at all the same as a Tempest spinner, and this is the all original guts inside of here. Now I did replace this here with a Tempest spinner, a Tempest cap right here. What's underneath here is the original spinner, but the actual knob is from a Tempest, and I believe it to be exactly the same. This is a reproduction. Anyway, let's start the game. It's really cool. And so, basically, the planets are mad, and I have no idea why, but they're mad. And you need to kill them. And so you use the left joystick to move your ship around, and it's kind of like a Death Star. I know this is inspired by, not a Death Star, a Imperial Destroyer. I know this game's inspired by Star Wars. There's just no question, because like in Star Wars, the Death Star was blowing up planets, right? So now the planets are pissed off. I know that's what's going on here. So, the planets are mad because the Death Star blew them up, and now they're attacking the Imperial Destroyer. Okay, so this is the bonus level. I kind of forgot to tell you guys, like, the core gameplay here. But okay, I blew the bonus level. So the basic core gameplay is this. The planets come out. Now you can try to get them all before they fully get big, and you get a little bonus. Let me see if I can do that. There, I did. Perfect round. I get a 4,000 point bonus. And these little comet guys really mess with you. Okay, so here we go. Round 5. So you want to try to get them out before they get big, and if you do, you get a bonus. If not, then you have to deal with each of them individually. And I got the bonus again. That's pretty good. Let's see if we can continue that little run. Okay, so I blew it. I'm not going to get the bonus, so now we need to deal with them individually. And basically, every planet has a set of moons. You cannot blow the planet up until you blow up the moons. And after you blow up all their moons, they turn orange and they get angry, like really mad. And while you're doing all of this, you have spacemen that are floating around that are little bonus points. And then you also have these comets that are trying to mess with you, like right there. So this one right here, let's get all of its moons. There, that guy's got 1 moon left. There, that one, I got all his moons. So the planet was really mad right there. But listen to that music. I just love it. Alright, so we got all his moons. He's orange, he's mad, he's coming after me. Alright, cleared that one. Alright, so this is the bonus level. Now the bonus level, you have to kill all these comets. And as long as you keep killing the comets and they don't leave the screen, you can keep collecting all of these spacemen. And every comet goes up in value. And you can get a lot of points here. Like that was 300, the next comet's 400, 500, and I think there's 10 total. 600, 700. So that was the bonus. I blew it. So that's the game. It goes on and on and on, and it gets harder and harder and harder, and it's awesome. It's a heck of a workout too. And by the way, the score that Mike Sampedro got down here, 249,644, is absolutely ridiculous. Like, I'm not kidding. That's a crazy score. So, all right, let me put my initials in. I should look at the world record. I wouldn't be surprised if that's like the world record, or very close. All right. Okay, moving on. The next game is Atari's Quantum. Now, this is a very rare game. Atari made like 500 of these, okay? Now, this is an all-original cabinet. Actually, my friend Ian at IanKellogg.com, we were on the John's Arcade forums one day, and Ian posted a link to this Craigslist listing, right? And I'm looking at it, and there was a Double Dragon in there. And I'm like, Ian, that is a Quantum cabinet. Now, I was already in the process of building a Quantum, because I had the reproduction PCB, because a guy on Clav reproduced the PCB itself, like a one-to-one exact copy of the PCB, but it was blank. It had no parts on it, okay? So I bought the blank PCB, and then I bought all of the parts, you know, all the resistors and the ICs and all the chips and all that stuff. I had hundreds of parts, right? And then my friend Jay had this woman that he knew solder all the parts on, because that's what she did for a living. She would fabricate PCBs. And so she soldered all the parts on there for me and Jay. She did his too. And then she got the board all working and all that stuff. So I had a working Quantum PCB. And so I was on the hunt for a cabinet. So anyway, this listing shows up on Craigslist, and so Ian agreed to grab the cabinet for me. He brought it to my house. Again, it was a painted black Double Dragon when I got it. So we basically deconverted it. We removed all the paint and all that stuff. We put reproduction artwork on here. That was from Phoenix Arcade. What's original, original Quantum is the cabinet, all the metal, the trackball, all that stuff is original Quantum. Actually, the trackball came from a millipede, but it's the same thing. So that's all original. The inside, the harness is a reproduction from Joe Majera. The PCB, again, is a reproduction, but it's a one-to-one exact copy running Atari's original code. There's nothing about the PCB that is, like, different than the original. It's just not original. So it's like literally every part, like the recipe is the same. But anyway, it turned out awesome. It plays great, it looks great, and I'm really happy to have it, and we saved a Quantum cabinet, that was converted to a Double Dragon. Now the controls are that's it, just a trackball. It's a really neat, abstract kind of game. It is a vector game, it's an XY game. It has a 6100 in here. Now, Quantum was designed to work with an Ampliphone or a 6100. Because they didn't make a lot of these games, it never shipped the 6100. But anyway, I have a 6100 in here because I never got an Ampliphone monitor that to use, and I never had an extra Ampliphone basically. So what's in here is the 6100 monitor, which is the Wells Gardner version of the color XY monitors. It's a little bit slower than the Amp. Okay, but with Quantum, it doesn't matter. It only really matters with like Star Wars and all that. So I did all the pin cushion correction and all that, which is all well documented. And if you look at Atari's manual for this game, it references both monitors. So the game was compatible with both. It's just they didn't ship enough to ever get to the Wells Gardner, I think, production run. So anyway, let's play. So the game is really strange, actually. That's not strange. It's just basically you want to circle stuff to get rid of it, okay? And I'm moving the trackball. See that? So if you circle the planets or the little oh my God! And you can't touch them. But the object here is to circle more than one. You get bigger points. There. All right, so we cleared the level. All right, so now they start adding more stuff. Bonds between nuclei are deadly when red. So we're getting rid of the nucleus. So I just broke that apart. But you really want to try to get more than one thing in a circle. See, you get bigger points. And then after you kill them, they leave these little remnants. Oh, come on. You got to close it up as fast as possible. It's a neat game, right? Oh my God, I'm horrible though. So, one night though, once you really get into this, and this is cool, the high score thing, you can draw your initials. Whee! So, and it doesn't save the initials though, which is kind of a bummer. It saves the actual score and then the actual digital initials, which you're doing right now. So that's the top score today. So my friend Matt, he's got the all-time greatest high score. I have to beat that. So yes, that's Atari Quantum. Super rare, super cool, really neat game. All right, next to it is iRobot. And sadly, iRobot's down. Now, it's down on purpose because I got so busy that my friend Ian agreed to fix the power supply for me. And I already rebuilt it, and the game was working. It's just that the reset circuit wasn't right, and the game would, like, not boot all the time. And Ian is a power supply engineer, and I was doing all kinds of other stuff. And so he agreed to fix the power supply for me, but he still has it. So we can't really talk about iRobot right now because Ian still has the power supply. I actually messaged him a few weeks ago. I'm like, dude, you know, I'm doing the year-end review. I really would like iRobot to be up, so it's not. But very rare Atari game. I bought this one from John Exedy in Colorado. I shipped it here. When I got it, it wasn't working at all. The board was working, but the power supply was not. We fixed the power supply. Actually, when Ian came over here, I think he helped me rebuild it. I don't remember. But I rebuilt the power supply, got that working. What else did I do? Oh, Trioxin fixed the control panel, which was completely blown out. This whole corner right here was blown out completely. He fixed that. And by the way, iRobot is the very first 3D shaded polygon video game. It's like the first 3D raster shaded video game ever. You know, there was 3D games before it, like Battlezone, but it was all like wireframe, like vector graphics. This is actually like shaded graphics, you know, with like a light source and all that stuff. Is there a light source in these? I actually don't really know, but it has the shaded graphics that might simulate like a light source. You know what I mean? Like you know, this side is darker than that side because you know the light's over here. But yeah, it's all raster shaded 3D polygon graphics, and it's super cool. It's just too bad we can't play it right now because I don't have the power supply. I can't even fix it if I wanted to. So I'm waiting for Ian to get it back. And actually, when we get the power supply back from Ian, we'll do a whole iRobot video for that, just to celebrate having iRobot back to life. But this cabinet, by the way, is the same profile as Firefox, and with that pedestal and the head and all that. So there's actually 3 games that use this profile. It was Firefox, iRobot, and Return of the Jedi. And Major Havoc, the dedicated, was similar but different. It wasn't the same cabinet. The Major Havoc base was really thin, whereas that base is like, you know, a foot tall. But super cool game. I actually really enjoy the gameplay. It really is neat, and it has like this Hall effect joystick, which is there's no switches. It's like a magnet that detects a magnetic field that detects where the joystick is. Very cool, very neat, very, very rare too. Right here we have a pair of very rare Atari games, iRobot and Quantum. Next to it over here is Robotron, not really rare, but very desirable. They made a lot of Robotrons because it's so great. Robotron is so playable, still very playable, and really, Robotron okay, that's not true though. Space Dungeon, the Taito game, was the first one to do the twin stick shooting, you know, left stick move, right stick shoot, but Robotron's the one that made it good and made it popular and really just fine-tuned that mechanic, and you'll see that today. You know, you guys, I'm sure, have played Geometry Wars on the consoles and all that. Robotron really just perfected all of that, and really, Eugene Jarvis and Larry DeMar, who made Robotron, you know, they used this scheme quite a bit, you know, with Smash TV and all those other kind of sequels to Robotron, but just a great game. And this one's original dedicated. I picked it up from my buddy Jay. I actually traded my Star Wars. I had a Star Wars upright with an Amplifone monitor. I traded him that for Robotron 720 and an R-Type. And then I also gave him a Bubbles cabinet that was converted to a multi-Williams by me. When I bought it, it was like a Combatribes or something. It was a painted black Bubbles cabinet that was converted to Combatribes. I basically removed all that Combatribes stuff and put a J-Rock in there with a multi-Williams control panel, but it was a dedicated cabinet. It was an original cabinet, whatever. I traded Star Wars and Bubbles for Robotron 720 and R-Type, so this is the Robotron right here. And I really think it was a good trade because I love Robotron. It's very playable. I haven't done a ton of this. I had some problems with the game resetting. It turned out it was the header pins on the power supply, so I replaced those, and it's been reliable since. Let's play a game here, and yes, it has the twin sticks here. Now, I need to replace the overlay on this. I actually have a reproduction overlay that I'm going to put on. The dust washers are on top right now, which is completely wrong. They're supposed to be underneath the metal that's in between the wood, and when I eventually put the overlay on, I'll throw these underneath. But these are the right Wiko joysticks. The 1 and 2 player start button are all right, and they light up and all that stuff. Very faintly, though. So let's play the game. This game's so good. I was playing this last night, actually. So basically, you want to rescue the humans, okay, and kill all the bad guys. And that's the game. And it just gets progressively harder, and they start introducing new bad guys. Like this little circle thing starts spitting out these little witch things, and these tank guys are unstoppable, and they will kill all the humans if they make contact. So you really want to get rid of these circle things as fast as possible, because they keep spitting out those witches that fire stuff at you. So these circle things, get rid of those as fast as you can. And then the tank guys, you can't kill them, but you can push them around. And if they touch the humans, they'll kill them. So you want to rescue the family as fast as you can. And then the humans are worth a lot of points, and they keep going up. Like the first one I get's 1,000, the next one's 2,000, 3,000, and so forth. And then if you die, it resets. So we've got witches here. So this level here is really important. There's a lot of women on here, so we can get a lot of points. And then if the brain guys touch the women, so we'll get 4,000, 5,000. So now they're all worth 5,000. They cap out. But yeah, that's Robotron. Such a great game. Like I said, I had the Multi-Williams with the J-Rock in there, and it's great, but I just really wanted to have an original dedicated, because I think on the Multi-Williams, Robotron was my favorite game. That was the one I played, so I just didn't take advantage of the other games on the Multi-Williams, so I really wanted the dedicated. There you go. All right, so next to Robotron is Donkey Kong Jr., which is the sequel to my favorite game. Now, I do like Donkey Kong Jr. too. I really like it a lot. And I used to play this game when I was a kid at 7-Eleven. And I have vivid memories of playing that. And I really enjoy it, and I still enjoy it today. This one here, I got on Craigslist a long time ago, like 7 years ago or something. I paid, I think, around $300 for it. I really don't remember. It's been so long. I didn't do a ton to it. When I got the game, there were lock bar holes down here, and this is one of the first Bondo jobs I ever did in my life, and it's not that great, but it looks okay. I remember someone on Clov sent me some orange touch-up paint. That's actually a great match. Can't really tell, but that's one of the first times I ever attempted to patch a hole, and I've gotten a lot better. If I did that today, it would look a lot better, but it doesn't look bad to me, really. And when the lights are all off down here, you never even notice it, right? So, in general, it's been a very reliable game. It's a nice original specimen. The only thing I did to it is I capped the Sanyo 20 EZ monitor. I replaced all the capacitors. That's all I've ever done to that game. And I put the Brazington High Score save kit in there as well. And I think that's really it. I'm trying to remember if this overlay, is this a reproduction? I don't really remember. I think it is, actually. Yeah, it's been so long, it's funny, I just don't remember. So anyway, let's play this game. So in this game, by the way, if you're not aware, okay, you are Donkey Kong Jr., okay, trying to rescue Papa Donkey Kong because he's been captured by Mario. Okay, so Mario is the bad guy in this game, which I think is really interesting. Miyamoto kind of reversed the roles, which is probably kind of genius, really. So let's start the game. So you can see Donkey Kong is being captured by Mario. What a jerk. And we'll just kind of do the first level or so. And just a 4-way joystick and a jump button. We'll attempt to do a little bit of point pressing here. You can drop the fruit on the guys. if I'm really quick. So the red guys will come down the vine and turn around. The blue guys will go all the way down to the water. So right now we just got to get to the key to unlock Donkey Kong. And that's it. So we've rescued him. So that's the first level. There are 4 different types of levels. And this is the vine level, there's the chain level, the spring level, and then Mario's hideout. I love this game. So the thing about this game though is that I've never been able to get 100,000 points, and it's just baffles me. Because I have played this game so much. Like, I'm not kidding, I have played so much Donkey Kong Jr. in my life. I'm not kidding. Like, I don't understand how I've never been able to get 100,000 points, especially because I own it. And I did a John's Quest 4 series, hoping it would kind of really motivate me, and I still haven't got 100,000 points. Let's just clear this level at least here. So there you go. I mean, look at that. I got 14,000 points already. But I can't get 100,000. All right, so the next game here is my favorite game in the whole world. And this is the very first game I ever got. This is the game that started everything for me. Donkey Kong, okay? Now, this one I bought on eBay. It's the first game I ever bought. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't. I knew nobody in the hobby, 0 people, okay? I didn't know what the game was worth. I didn't know what to look for. I didn't know who to trust. I knew nothing. So basically what happened, this is my story. This is my hobby story. I saw the movie King of Kong, and it made me go, oh my God. Because when I was a kid, I mean, I lived in the arcades. I've been a video game fanatic my entire life. I mean, that's who I am, okay? Like, I've literally have been a video game fanatic my entire life. And so when I saw King of Kong, and Donkey Kong was my favorite arcade game, okay? When I saw King of Kong, and it was all about Donkey Kong, my favorite arcade game of all time, and I saw that people had these games, they owned them, it lit a fire underneath me, okay? I'm like, oh my God, I am getting myself a Donkey Kong, right? So, like immediately, like as soon as I saw King of Kong, it made such an impression on me. I was on eBay like crazy trying to find an original Donkey Kong. And I did. Again, I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know what they were worth. I didn't know anybody. And I basically found what I thought was the best listing. It looked to be in the best condition, and I bought it, okay? And I overpaid. Well, it turns out, and this is all in hindsight, right? I know what happened, okay? Basically, the guy put up a picture of a Donkey Kong that he restored and sold months ago, or years ago, okay? And I thought I was getting the one, maybe I've never even told this full story before. This might be interesting. Because there was so much to this. So I saw this picture, it looked beautiful, it looked immaculate, and I bought it, right? It took the guy several weeks to ship the game. Red flag number 1, okay? Several weeks, okay? He finally ships the game. It arrives, and we shipped it Pilot Air, okay? And it arrived at a warehouse in Hartford, Connecticut, and I went down and picked it up. My buddy Dan went with me. We bring it back to my house, and we plug it in, and nothing happens. Again, I don't know anything, okay? I plug it in, nothing happens. We're like, oh, well, that's kind of anticlimactic. So we figure out how to open the back door, and we do, and the monitor basically falls out, okay? So the monitor wasn't bolted down. Now, I know I've told this story a million times. The monitor wasn't bolted down, it fell out, and it basically just destroyed the inside of the cabinet. The PCB was destroyed, the neck on the monitor was cracked, all that crap, right? So it was done, right? So I contacted the seller, I'm like, WTF, and he kind of confesses that they didn't bolt the monitor down. And really, the more I got into it, the more I started figuring out what the heck was going on here. And basically, the bottom line is this, okay? The picture that was on eBay is not the game I got, because I started comparing everything about that picture and my cabinet, and it was not the same. It was not the same cabinet. And I'm like, dude, the game that you had the picture of on eBay was not my machine. It's like, oh yeah, well that was one we did a few months ago. We were just saying that you're gonna get one like that, right? I'm like, oh, WTF, right? So, in the end, at the end of the day, what they did was this. They put some photo on there of a game that maybe they restored a few months ago, maybe a year ago, maybe 5 years ago, I don't know, and they put a stupid price on it. And basically, if someone paid the stupid price, then they would build the Donkey Kong, and that's what they did, okay? They basically said, oh, look, this guy bought the Donkey Kong, he paid for it, now we can go build a Donkey Kong and ship it to him, which is why it took like 2-3 weeks just to have them ship it. It was such a horrible, horrible experience. In the end, the guy made it right, and he shipped me all the parts, and I got it all working, and believe me, I was like thrown into the hobby because I had to figure all of this out like instantly, like how everything connects, how a monitor works, how everything plugs in, what goes where. Like, I had to learn all of that, and really that experience maybe kind of made me learn a lot of stuff like right away. But really, it was a horrible experience, and so at the end of the day, you know, looking back on it, it's kind of fun. I don't know if fun's the right word, but at least I have a story. You know, it's not like I did just buy the game and that was it, but I bought it and it was broken. I had to fix it, so I learned a lot like instantly, and maybe that made me want to continue with it. And so, at the end of the day, whatever, it all worked out. So here it is. Now, I've owned better Donkey Kongs than this one, but I just don't want to get rid of this because it's my original Donkey Kong. And this is an okay restore. They painted it with some kind of latex paint. There's just a ton of orange peel on it. It's not a very good finish. It's not original, which, you know, I thought I was getting. And, you know, it was with a roller or something. Whatever. It's presentable. It looks okay. You know, what did I do to this? I replaced the side art because the side art he gave me was too small. I mean, these guys were clowns. It was a total disaster. So, anyway, the game plays great now. I rebuilt the monitor and all that stuff. What's in here right now is the D2K kit, and also the D2K kit is in here, with also the Donkey Kong Deranged and Donkey Kong Remix. So there's like 4 or 5 different versions of Donkey Kong in this cabinet right now. And I'm trying to remember how you switch games. Is it jump? I always forget how they do this. You hold in jump? How do you switch games on this? I always forget. No, it's not that. What is the switching game thing? I thought you hold down the jump button on this. So this is Donkey Kong Deranged. I guess we could just play it. I mean, I've done 1,000 videos on Donkey Kong. It's my favorite game, guys. So Donkey Kong Deranged is a version that John, what's his last name, Waslowski or something, up in Canada made. And it's just a very, very aggressive version of Donkey Kong. I don't think I should linger. Everything is just amped up and way harder on this version. So I've got in here D2K, Donkey Kong Deranged, Donkey Kong Remix, which is crazy fun, and original Donkey Kong. I mean, still, at the end of the day, original Donkey Kong is my favorite game. And my high score on it's like 270,000 points. I've been doing Quest for videos to get to 300,000, which is my goal. But yes, very fun game, awesome game, I love it. Donkey Kong. All right, moving on. Yes, there's a hole right here because my Street Fighter used to be here, and right now it's at the Hangar Pub and Grill in Amherst, Mass, and we'll go visit it in a little bit. But for now, we're gonna move on and go to Dragon's Lair. Now, this is an all-original Dragon's Lair. Dragon's Lair is a laserdisc game. That's right, guys. And up here, actually, I have a Sony PVR monitor on top that is a spectator monitor, because you know I have a lot of spectators down here. And you know, if we have a crowd around this game, they can watch up there and see what's going on. But anyway, Dragon's Lair is a masterpiece of a game. It's a laserdisc game. It's not the first laserdisc game. It might be technically the second, I think, but it's the best laserdisc game. And a lot of people say this game maybe ruined the arcades because it was the first game to really charge 50 cents. And because of that, when I was a kid, I never played it. I would watch people play it in awe, and every now and then I'd have some extra loot. You know, maybe I'd have $2 instead of $1.50, and I'd decide to play this game. And when I would play this game, you know what would happen? I would die instantly. So I never got good at this game, but I always loved it. I always respected it. I always thought the kids, or the older kids that were so good at this game, were just uber elite. Anyway, this game I got down in Connecticut from a longtime collector. The only thing I did, actually I did a few things to this. So this is a reproduction overlay because the one that was on here was totally blown out. Okay, so I replaced that. The original Laserdisc player, which was a Pioneer LDV 1000, okay, was working, okay, but that player is known to be very unreliable. So what I did was I removed the original player and I put it on a shelf. So it's over here in storage. So I have the original player still. And then I went and got the Merlin board, which is a board that allows you to put in different kind of Laserdisc units in these older games. And so it allowed me to put in a Pioneer LDV 8000 player, which I think is about 5 years newer than the 1000. So that's what I have in here now. I have a Pioneer 8000 LDV 8000 player with the Merlin board that allows me to do so, and it's just a much more reliable player, and I've had zero problems. And I think that 1000 was kind of risky to have in here, so now we have the 8000. It's newer, it's better, it's an industrial player, and hopefully, knock on wood, it lasts forever, because that's what happens with these things is the Laserdisc players just die and they're very hard to replace. Even though there is a big supply of them on eBay, it's hard to find working ones, trust me, because I went through all of this with this game. But anyway, once I got all that figured out, this has been a very reliable game. It's a very good looking game. Oh, I did put side art on it too because it was missing the side art completely. So that's reproduction. So yeah, I replaced the side art and the CPO and the Laserdisc. So I guess I did a lot to this game, but it plays great, it looks great, and I put that Sony PVM. You gotta admit that the spectator monitor is cool, right? Come on. Anyway, let's play the game. The controls are, it's an 8-way joystick and a sword button. And let's start. But I mean, just look at this, guys. I mean, can you believe this? And by the way, Don Bluth is the animator and artist for this, who did a bunch of Disney movies. I mean, this is Disney caliber animation, and oh my God. This pretty much sums up the game when I was a kid, though. Touch joystick and die. So left. So this is pretty obvious, right? It lights up, left, we get it. But it's pretty amazing how seamless and fluid it is. You really do, I think, feel like you're playing this. Yes, you're basically controlling tracks on a Laserdisc, but I feel like I'm playing this game. I don't feel like I'm like using a remote control on a DVD. So right, it's so fluid. Especially, oh, I was late. I never die there too. I don't think I've ever died there. All right, so this one I know. Back and right. All right, let's get out of here. Forward. Time it forward. Okay, and then we're gonna go left, left. All right, we did it. All right, this one we gotta wait for the duck. Right there. Okay, and then this is sword. Okay, back. Forward. Sword. Sword. Left. Sword. Look how awesome this is. Come on. Sword. All right. This one I'm a little rusty on. Sword. Oh, I was supposed to press right. So yes, that's Dragon's Lair. What do you think? Pretty awesome, right? All right, let's move on to Revenge from Mars. Okay, so the next game here is Revenge from Mars in 3D. This is a Pinball 2000 pinball machine. Pinball 2000 is the platform. It came out in 1999 by Bally Williams, and it's one of the very last pinball machines that Bally Williams made. Now, this game was designed by George Gomez, and there's actually a pretty neat story behind this game, and it's pretty significant as far as pinball history goes. And also, there is a wonderful DVD I recommend that you guys watch. It's called Tilt: The Battle to Save Pinball, and it's about this machine and the Pinball 2000 platform. And basically the story is this, okay? In the late 90s, pinball was dying, guys. It was pretty much dead. The sales were down. I don't think people were playing as much, and it was just in a massive decline. And Bally Williams basically said to their designers, hey, listen, guys, if you don't do something fresh, new, and innovative to save pinball, we are shutting down the pinball division, okay? So they all went to work, okay? And actually, George Gomez and Pat Lawler got together, and George Gomez and Pat Lawler are probably two of my favorite pinball designers. Of course, we met George Gomez when we did that tour at Stern in 2015. If you didn't see that, go back and watch that. But, you know, George Gomez, he made Revenge from Mars. He did NBA Fast Break, which is another one of my favorite pins that I have. It's not here, it's at the Hangar. We'll talk about it later. He also did Tron. I mean, the guy's just epic. He's a cool guy. And Pat Lawler, of course, did, you know, Addams Family and Twilight Zone. Big pinball designer dudes. Anyway, they got to work and they came up with this idea right here. And what's so special about this? Well, I'll tell you, because up here is a monitor, a CRT, okay? And it's actually projecting an image onto the glass, okay? The playfield glass is different. It has a half-silvered kind of application up here, and so the image projects down, and it looks kind of like a hologram is on the playfield. And so when you're playing this game, you're basically hitting these virtual targets that are showing up on the playfield, but really they're being projected onto the glass. It's a very neat kind of holographic effect, and really, I think they knocked it out of the park. And the sad thing is, even though they did innovate, and even though they did sell a lot of Revenge from Mars, Bally still closed the pinball division, and that was it. And actually, the last game they made was the second Pinball 2000 game, which was Star Wars Episode 1, which was not nearly as good as this. Now, this game right here is a sequel to Attack from Mars, okay? It's called Revenge from Mars. A few years before, they did a traditional pinball machine that was called Attack from Mars, and I just love it. I love the artwork. I love the style. It basically has that kind of Tops Mars Attack. You guys remember... I mean, I'm even too young for this, but back in the 60s or whatever, they had these Mars Attacks trading cards that had these kind of graphics, and they even did a movie based on it. Remember Mars Attacks in like the 90s or something? But it's all based on this kind of art style and all that, basically a takeoff on the Topps trading cards from the 60s. But I really like everything about this game. You know, the art, the voice call-outs, the gameplay, it's just the whole package. And plus, I love the fact that it has a monitor. It's just a unique pinball experience. And also in here, up here in the head, well, besides the monitor is also a computer. There's a proprietary computer. It's a weird processor, like a Cyrix or something like that. It's not Intel or AMD. It's like a weird processor up there. And there's just there's no hard drive. It's like this Prism card that it's some kind of a solid state kind of storage thing and all that. And so mine is running the original computer, and it's still working, thank God. But really, these computers have been dying in the last few years. And there was a company that was making replacement computers called Nucor. They stopped making them, so right now there's currently no replacement computer, but supposedly Nucor's coming back. I think they had some kind of licensing issues or something. So I just think the game's tight, you know. It's got a lot of the stuff from Attack from Mars, you know, the UFOs, the bouncing Martians and all that. They actually crammed a lot into this game. Now, a lot of people think that this playfield's shorter. It's actually not. It's the same length as other games. It's actually the same length as the Terminator era pinball machines. It's just that a lot of the back parts of the playfield are kind of obscured because they needed to basically make room for the display to throw the kind of holographic images up there. But let me just kind of demonstrate the game the best I can. This is a tough one to film, but I've certainly done videos on this before. So right now we're selecting a mode, and we did Mars Needs Women. And you can see, hopefully you can see, the target is kind of projected onto the playfield, and it kind of looks like you're hitting the alien there, right? So right now the ramp came up, and I just drained. But can you guys see what's going on here? It's a neat effect. And I just love the animation style and the voice call-outs. It's just, this game is the full package, and my wife really enjoys this game as well. Oh my god. I'm draining. Okay, up the ramp you go. I need your melon. So the ramp is up. Oh my god, I am doing so bad at this game. Alright, let's do... I shouldn't have picked this mode. This isn't as good as a mode. Oh my god, forget this game. I'm doing horrible. Alright, I think we have one more to do. It says destroy the console now. We'll go up the ramp and we're done. We can actually get up there. There we go. Alright, we passed that game mode. So, alright, let's show you one more game mode here. Alright, so this one is a little more obvious. There's going to be a big target in the center. So we have to hit that catapult thing. See that? Isn't that cool? And now the Martians are all in the lanes and stuff. So we have to hit them all. It's just a really neat and effective effect. And honestly, it's funny that pinball advanced so far in '99. And really, you look at like what Stern's doing, it's no different than they were doing in '98 or '97. I guess people just really want traditional pinball now, right? They don't want none of this kind of business. Like if Stern did something like this today, would it be successful? I'd like to think it would, and I would love them to try. Anyway, you guys get the idea. Revenge for Mars, super cool, super awesome. I don't think I could get rid of this game. I feel like the 3 pinballs that I own right now are pretty darn good. You know, NBA Fast Break and Revenge from Mars, I have a connection to. And by the way, yes, NBA Fast Break and Ghostbusters are not here right now because they're at the Hangar Pub and Grill, and we'll be visiting them soon. And right now I'm looking to fill this space. I have a Gottlieb Bronco in the garage that we'll talk about in a little bit, and I need to get some other game or pinball to also, because I have 2 slots right here. We have 3 total, and we'll visit the Street Fighter too. Anyway, moving on. All right, here it is. Sega Gremlin Frogger. Now, guys, Frogger is I mean, it's pretty iconic and classic. I mean, for me, Frogger, Pac-Man, Donkey Kong, those have to be the top 3 most iconic games ever. Maybe Cuber, too. I don't know. But I think Frogger and Pac-Man and Donkey Kong are right there. Top 3 most iconic games. And this one here I put together actually from, I don't know, I had like 4 different Frogger cabinets at one point, and so I took all the best parts from all 4 and I made this one, and then the remaining parts and cabinets I sold to friends and they made more Froggers. So anyway, this is a really nice all original specimen here. The cabinet is, the original wood grain. This is reproduction side art. Frogger, most of them out there do not have side art, and this was an option that they offered the operators, and I don't think a lot of them took Sega up on it. So you'll see a lot of Froggers out there with just no side art. So I got the reproduction. It's on here. I think it looks really good. It's a reproduction control panel overlay from Arcade Shop. This is a reproduction bezel. Not sure. I think that came with the game when I got it, and an original marquee, and of course the original PCB inside. And I replaced the power supply, rebuilt the monitor, And this is about one of the nicest looking Froggers I've ever seen. I think it looks fantastic, and I love the gameplay. It's very simplistic, but everyone gets it. Everyone loves it, and you know, it's just a simple 4-way joystick game. You gotta cross the road. That's it. So it has a 4-way Wiko joystick. I did replace the grommets. I believe they're reproduction grommets. I forgot. There was someone on Claw a long time ago that was making repro grommets, and I bought a bunch. And that's what I have in this game right now. Very stiff feeling, though, compared to the one that was in here. It's going to take many, many plays to break in that joystick. And then there's the female Frogger right there. She gets on your back, and if you get her into the home, you get a little bonus. But this is really the whole game. You know, they start throwing little things at you here and there. You know, the traffic speeds up, and they'll have little otters in the water that can kill you. Oh my god. Alright, come on, let's finish. So yeah, that's the whole game. That's Frogger. I'm sure you guys all know it. And if you look on here, the high score, so Don Hayes has the high score for Frogger, or did, I don't know if he still does, but he basically played mine to 99,990, then he stopped before it rolled. So, anyway, all right, let's move on. The next cabinet here is Atari's Major Havoc. Now, this is a cool game, guys. This is a super, super cool game. Now, Atari released this game in 2 flavors, okay? They had the dedicated cabinet, which is very, very rare, okay? And then they had the conversion kit. Now, the conversion kit was designed to convert other Atari color vector games like Space Duel and Gravitar and Tempest into Major Havoc. And I believe they sold more conversion kits than dedicated. Now, the dedicated one, believe me, I would love to have that one, and it looks a lot like the iRobot cabinet. But, you know, to get one, you know, from another collector, they usually sell for about $5,000. So I have the conversion version. Now this is again, the official Atari conversion kit. What I have here is 100% right and legit. And actually, and yes, it used to be a Tempest, by the way. So when I got it, it was already converted, and it has the full Major Havoc side art. You guys can't really see. It's the full original Major Havoc side art that came with the kit. So that I've never seen anyone with that, honestly. And the side art is all white, and then in the middle here is the Major Havoc like logo and stuff. It looks really good. And the one thing that I did do that was not part of the kit was I installed a roller, okay? Because the dedicated Major Havoc, okay, had a roller like this. This was the controller, okay? The kit that was for Tempest and Space Duel and all those would use just a spinner, the Tempest style spinner. Now you can totally play the game with the spinner. It's not bad, but I really wanted the roller. So this is a reproduction roller from Ram Controls, who is long gone. And I think that someone else has since stepped up and reproduced it. I think it might be Pac-Man in Illinois is making the roller again. But this was one of the original ones that Ram Controls made, I guess from the original tooling. I'm not sure the story, but it's right on the money and it works perfect. This is a reproduction control panel that had the cutout for the roller. And I got that, I believe, from Pac-Man. And the control panel I did have on here was a Tempest control panel with the spinner hole and the original Atari overlay. And I took that off, and I think I sold that to my friend Jay. I don't remember, to be honest, what happened to that control panel. And then this is the original marquee overlay that goes over the Tempest that Atari sold. This is not a reproduction up here. This is original. But in general, you know, this thing's been great. It's got the conversion PCB, which is a little bit different than the dedicated. The crystals in there run at different speeds, so the gameplay and the sound are a little teeny tiny different. I don't know. This game was designed by Owen Rubin, who is a friend of our podcast, Arcade Outsiders. I love Owen Rubin. He's like the coolest guy ever. And what's neat about this game, though, is it's a vector game. It's a color vector game, but it's a platformer. And it's really, really, really neat. It's probably my favorite vector game. I think Tempest, you know, I acknowledge it is probably the most successful. But I think this and maybe Star Wars are the best as far as like just innovation and and all the stuff they crammed in it. I mean, Star Wars is pretty much a marvel. Oh, by the way, right now I'm playing this little breakout game, and it's a little bonus thing that you can do. So right now it kind of plays like a Galaga type game. You have to kill these little fish guys as they come down. But basically, Major Havoc wants to land on the base and blow it up. Okay, so now we're gonna land on the base, and so now I'm moving left and right, and I got to land on the platform. Right there, okay? And now we're inside the base and we gotta blow it up. And so we have limited oxygen and we can get some on the way here to refill. And then we gotta get to the reactor core, we touch it, now we have a time limit to get out because the thing's about to blow up. There we go, and now we escape. So that's the core gameplay. It's rinse and repeat, right? But the bases get more complex, more maze-like. There's like booby traps. It's a very, very clever and unique game, and I adore it. I absolutely adore everything about this game. And by the way, see these? You could put in warp codes, and you could warp to a higher level right here. It says like 34. So I put in 34, it didn't work. And so we're whittling away at that little breakout game. And there is more to this game, actually. There's another level that you haven't seen yet. And now these guys are like little spaceships. So is it the maze now? No, not yet. I think it's the third time around. So let's clear this one. And I'll show you guys the little like throwing star maze thing. And by the way, he has a shield, and you can just like hold it down. You don't. The shield only depletes when you get hit. So you could technically just play the whole game like this, and it never goes down. Let's try this. So there, I just used it. So here's the core. And then after you get the core, the little spark guys stay where they are. So that's a bit of a problem for me right there. Nope, I got out. Okay. So let's get out. There we go. We did it. So now they're going to introduce a new type of level right now. And by the way, just keep, little by little, they're adding new and different stuff. I'm just going to kind of lose this. All right, so now we got to do this thing. So we got these little like throwing star things that are coming at us. We got to kill as many of them as we can. All right, so now we have to navigate this maze. And with the roller control, you can really be precise getting through this maze. It works really great. Isn't that cool? And now it's getting harder to land. You know, the landing pad's getting smaller, the ship's getting faster. I love this game, guys. I really do. That was risky. And then eventually there's like keys and stuff, and they just keep adding more and more stuff to this. And then the other guy that worked on this, oh, what was his name? He went on to do like Naughty Dog stuff. I think he did like Jack and Daxter or something. All right, let's see if we can escape out here. There's a warp right here. So yes, that's the game, guys. All right, Major Havoc. So let's move on to Paperboy. What a cool game Paperboy is. This is an Atari game again, 84. You know, another one of those games, hard to play in MAME. It has handlebars. Do you have handlebars on your main cabinet? Probably not. And the controls for this, you know, are really dependent on this, you know, forward, backwards, and then left and right? So you got, you know, fast, slow, left, and right. I mean, I'm sure you could do that with 4 buttons, but there's just something about the handlebars. And basically what you're doing here is you're Paperboy delivering papers. You got to throw them to the customers on your route, and you have to avoid the people who are not customers. But you also get points for destroying the non-customers, like windows and bushes and stuff. And that's where you can really kind of point press. So my Paperboy I picked up from a gentleman in Albany. what have I done to this? Well, the monitor, the original monitor that was in here was was an Atari Disco medium res monitor. And that monitor gave me a lot of trouble. And it was very early in my arcade my arcade career, and I tried fixing it, and I failed miserably, okay? And actually, I got myself into a bit of trouble because I had a cap kit for it, and it wasn't really lining up with what I had. And so I got to the point where and by the way, the disco monitors were garbage anyway. So I'm like, all right, well, I don't even want this monitor. So I'm gonna go try to find a Wells Gardner, K7000 or whatever, medium res. So I picked up a NARC cabinet for like $50 on Craigslist that was not working. And I took that monitor out of it and put it in this Paperboy. And other than that, this has been a pretty reliable game. Now I'm gonna tell you though, my Paperboy does have an issue right now. And I believe it to be power supply related. There's like an AR3 power supply in here or something. And right now I'm missing one channel of audio, and I believe it to be the amplifier that's on the AR. And I just haven't pulled it out to fix it, mostly because it's buried in the back corner here. And it's one of those things I just keep putting it off, and really, one day I need to just address the power supply, rebuild it, and get that second channel of audio. And it's funny though, because I didn't even notice I was missing it until you guys told me in one of my videos. So anyway, now this corner here is really tight, and I'm gonna do my best here to kind of film it. And I'm guessing too that we need to calibrate the handlebars, just because I haven't done that in a long time. And this game, the handlebars kind of self-calibrate if you leave it on and play it a whole bunch. But if you don't, they kind of get out of calibration. You have to do it in the test menu. And I think I'm going to do that right now. Otherwise, the game's just not enjoyable the first time you play it. But if I were to play a few games, it would eventually kind of calibrate itself, if that makes any sense. All right, let's put it in test. Okay, so advanced tests. Advance. All right, here's the control test. So we press left button and right button to clear. And then we go like this until it says good. Okay. And actually it's gonna read the extremes, right? I haven't done this in a while. So left, and then 1 and 2 clears it, and then it says bad. So that should be calibrated. You're just measuring the extremes. All right, so let's get out of this and see if it plays nice. Let me turn this light off, actually. All right, here we go. Easy Street. I love the music in this game, though. So see it's riding nice in the center there. I know I played it the other night, and I felt like I was pulling to the right a little bit. I don't feel like it's calibrated very well. I kind of forgot how to do that screen. I think it was 1 and 2 clears it. So you can see that the dark houses are not your customers, and you get bonus points for destroying their house. And then the customers, if you get it in their mailbox, you get bonus points. Like that. And you have a finite amount of papers. I'm out of papers. Ah, I got hit by a lawnmower. Let's see if we can get a little closer here for you guys. Whoops. So there's a burglar there. If you hit him, you get points. That dog's gonna kill me. Hang on. I don't like how the handlebars feel. I don't feel like I have... It's getting better, actually. Yeah, now it's... See, it's like the longer you play it, it starts like correcting itself. The calibration test, I don't remember it. I thought it said good when I did the extremes. I don't know. This is honestly a game that I don't play that much, and it just sits in the back corner here, and it's kind of sad, to be honest. I love you, Paperboy. But when I was a kid, I remember playing this at the campground. My parents and I would go camping a lot, like almost every weekend. And I know I've told this story, and I'll tell it again. But basically, you know, my sister and I were all excited to go play Paperboy at the campground arcade, and we jumped out of my parents' station wagon, which was probably like a Chevy Caprice or Impala. And my sister jumped out, and my dad thought she was away from the car, and she wasn't. And he ran over her leg. And he stopped the car, and she was under the wheel. And it was just on her ankle. And oddly enough, like nothing happened. It was just like the car was like on her ankle, and it was twisted in such a way that it didn't really hurt her. It just kind of, she had a black and blue mark. And that was it. We didn't really have to do anything, go to the doctor or anything. She was fine. But that's my Paperboy story. That happened because we wanted to play Paperboy. So the object of this game, by the way, yeah, see, I don't feel like I have very good left movement. My controllers are off. I'm gonna go back into the test mode. But basically the game here is to get through the whole week, and then when you do, the game ends. All right, so press left and then right. That's how you clear it. Now it says bad, right? Ah, shoot. I screwed up. We gotta cycle back around. So left button and then right button clears it, right? And then you do the extremes. So it basically measures like the high and the low for every pot. And you just want to do like every angle. And then if I press left, it says okay. And if I do that, yeah, okay, that's what it is. I remember now. You press left and you hold it in, you press right to clear it, and then you hold in left until it says okay. That's how you do it. And then you just go like this, getting all the extremes. I haven't done this in a while. So if we were to try it now, it should be better, I bet. I just want to just test it for a second. I haven't played this in a while. This is actually a good exercise for me tonight because it's making me go through every single game. Oh yeah, way better. Yeah. Okay, that's what you gotta do. You press left, you hold it in, you press right to clear, you keep left held in, and then you do the extremes. Yeah, look at how much more movement I have. But that's what you gotta do with the damage. So, yes, guys, that's Paperboy. Great freaking game. I really do need to invest some time, though, and get that power supply all fixed. Okay, moving on. Next to Paperboy is my Pac-Man Cabaret. I happen to really like this thing, and I wanted to get a Pac-Man Cabaret because I already had a full-size Miss Pac-Man, and so here's mine right here. My buddy Walt he gave this to me, if I remember right. It was a massive project that he just had in his garage, and I basically restored it from nothing. It was really garbage, and I documented the whole thing, did an entire restore series on the Pac-Man Cabaret, and I think it's pretty handsome. On the sides here is some really cheap, inexpensive vinyl, wood-grained vinyl that I got on eBay from Hong Kong. I think it was like $20. It was very inexpensive. I don't remember, to be honest. You have to go back and watch the video. It wants my initials. I have a little high score save kit in here, and I accidentally hit the start button, and press down to erase, select. All right, anyway. Okay, so anyway, moving on. So yeah, everything on here is original except for the side art, the side vinyl. Actually, it's This is a original overlay, I believe. I'm trying to remember where I got this overlay on here. But the control panel's original, the artwork on the front is original. Actually, I took liquid mask and masked off these ghosts and Pac-Man and then hit the thing with a rattle can. However, I did it when it was really cold, and also, and what happened was, over time here, the black paint has started coming off from this. And also, I'm starting to learn my lesson about painting directly on metal. Even though I'm buying paint and primer in one, I need to start priming. You can't rely on it. I realize this now. Even though the can of spray paint says paint and primer in one, I still think you need to prime, especially on naked metal like I did here. So this is not a huge deal, but it does bother me that the spray paint didn't hold up here. But in general, this game looks really presentable, and I like it. It's a really cool style, and of course it's Pac-Man. Now this has a 13-inch monitor. The original dedicated big full-size one had a 19-inch monitor. I'll tell you though, the 13-inch monitor doesn't bother me even a little bit. It totally works with Pac-Man, and I just like how small it is. It's cute. Do you guys want to play some Pac-Man? It's kind of fun to collect the cabarets or mix it up with cabarets and full size. Because I think an arcade would have done that. Now I have a high score save kit in here, and I'm interested to know where my high scores are. They're gone. I think it's a Dallas Ram that's in there that's saving them. I don't remember. And the thing about Pac-Man 2 is, as classic as it is, and as how many times I have played Pac-Man in my life, I cannot get good at this game. And I've read the books, the patterns, I can't figure it out. I just can't seem to retain any of it. So, anyway, it's Pac-Man. You gotta have it. All right, so next to Pac-Man is one of my biggest restores ever, and that's Journey. And right now, the monitor looks like that, okay? And actually, last night, I fixed it because I said, you know what, I'm not gonna do my year-end video until Journey is working, because I can't have Journey down in my video. I mean, it's bad enough we have iRobot over there turned off because the power supply is at Ian's. But, so last night, I pulled Journey out, and the connectors in the back corner of the G07 by the little jumpers, I moved those, and I was able to basically get the picture to look all right, and I thought I fixed it. I'm like, oh, it's just a little loose connection. And so tonight I turned the arcade on, we started to do the video. It looked great, and then like an hour later, it looked like this. So there's some kind of a heat connection issue right now, or a cold solder joint. So this week I'm probably going to remove the monitor. It's a G07 chassis, and we're going to reflow all the solder. I'll do a video. But, you know, Journey is well documented on this channel. Yes, it's based on the band. What's really cool about this game, and by the way, I got this game at an auction, okay? And when I got it, it was converted to a golf game, okay? Everything was missing. There was no Journey left. It was basically an empty shell of a cabinet. And so I was able to get every single part. An original MCR harness. The artwork is all reproduced from this old game. The cabinet was painted black in the front, so I repainted the whole thing. And I think I did a really good job on it, to be honest. And it's very smooth. I painted this with a roller, and then I wet sanded it with like 2000 grit at the end. And it really is super smooth and very laminate-like, like the original Surface, which was like a kind of almost like a melamine kind of deal. But Richard, this old game did a fantastic job with the artwork. It just looks so good. You know, this marquee is reverse printed on glass. I mean, look at it. It's beautiful. The bezel, the CPO. This is okay. This I don't think is as accurate. I think this is a whoever scanned this did it so a long time ago, and this is the artwork file that everyone's been using for reproduction. But in general, it looks great. It has a cassette player in there. It's too bad we can't play it right now, but it has a cassette player that plays separate ways, world apart. So when you get to the end, it plays that song from an actual cassette. Now, again, just go look on my channel. I've got a gazillion videos on this, but this is probably one of my favorite restores of all time. It was just so fun and magical, like to actually get this to work and put it all together. I mean, I really just poured everything, all of myself into this game to get this restore done, because I really started with nothing and we ended up with something so awesome and beautiful. So it was such a journey. So go watch the video series. It's like, I don't know, 20 parts and like 20 hours of video. It's ridiculous. All right, so next to it is Tron, another MCR game, and both of these are part of the Midway card reader, card something platform, MCR for short, same hardware platform. Tron, I love this game. I really do. A lot of people hate on Tron. I don't really get it, but I love it. Tron, of course, Disney's Tron, based on the movie of the same name. It's such a good game. It really is. It's very, there's a lot of stuff going on, different levels. The cabinet is sick. Mine right now has a marquee, there's a bulb problem on the bottom here. And I know you guys want me to fix it because there's black lights in here and there's a black light down here. And this fixture right now has a problem, and I need to replace the little nubs on it and the little ends of the bulb holder. And I have the pieces. I just need to take one day and go down there and fix it. But right now it's a little dark on the bottom, and it shouldn't be. They have a black light here and here, and the whole thing glows, and you can see how the joystick glows with the black light. And this one's all original. I never really did anything with this. I bought it from a friend, Ray West, a long time ago, and really just brought it down into the basement. I don't think I've done a whole lot. I don't even think I capped the monitor. Maybe I think I replaced the power supply. That's it. I don't think I've done anything else to this game. And it's been really reliable. Let's see if we can film in here. It's really tight. But I'm a big fan of Tron, the movie. And I think this game's good. But I might be alone. I don't know. Now, the controls are actually pretty unique. So you have, a lot like Mad Planets, you have the flight stick with the trigger, and then you have the spinner knob over here, okay? So very similar to Mad Planet style controls, but the controls change from depending on the level. All right, so let's go. So right now we're on this, and we can go up, down, left, or right, and we get a random level depending on which way you go. And each level, of course, is a scene from the movie. And there's 4 distinct levels, and they just start getting harder and harder over time. And right now we're on the first set of levels, which I think is COBOL. It's all like, it's RPG, which they're all programming languages. I don't know, is RPG a programming language? So this is the light cycle race here. And it starts out really simple with just one opponent. Oh my god. That is like the easiest level in the world. I can't believe I died. We're gonna do that again. God, I haven't played this in a while. It is fun to do this video because it really makes me, like I said, play every game. There we go. So we killed him. Alright, let's come down here. So this is the grid bugs. So we gotta kill all the grid bugs and then get into the hole before the timer expires. And right now I'm using the rotary control to move his arm and aim. But you know, when I was a kid, I worked at Little Caesars, like Playland or Funland, which was a Chuck E. Cheese type, oh my god, place. And I just vividly remember playing this game after. I only worked there for a few weeks, but this game had a really big impact on me because, you know, we were able to play whatever we wanted after the place closed. And this was the game. I remember playing this, Baby Pac-Man, Time Pilot, and what else? For some reason I want to say Pengo. Yeah, I totally remember playing Pengo there. You gotta escape out of here. Come on. Let me get out of here. And then, of course, you could do this when you're a kid. You could just kind of do that with his arm. So, all right, here's the last level. This is the MCP cone. So this one here, you just got to kill all the pieces. Like, I could leave the level right now, but you get a bonus if you kill all the blocks. That level gets super hard. So that's it. Now we're on COBOL. See, it's just rinse and repeat. It gets harder, harder, harder. You can see there's way more bugs now. So you can linger on this level to get, like, you know, do a little bit of point pressing, because you just got to get out before the timer runs out. I used to be able to just come down through here and exit this side. Yeah, I don't know why people hate on this game. I think it's a very solid game. Look at that. Alright, let's see what we get now. This is my least favorite level. This really gets hard. Ugh. So, anyway, that's it. You get it. It's Tron. It's good. I like it, and I've had that game for a while. I don't think I could ever sell that game. It's that great. All right, so next to it is Q*bert, another super iconic game. Now, Q*bert is definitely a game I played a lot as a child. I remember playing this on the 2600 on one of those like cool Parker Brothers cartridges. You guys remember those? So this one I bought on Craigslist. It was a really weird experience. The guy was nuts I bought it from, but it's really held up. Actually, I had a lot of issues with this game, to be honest. I rebuilt the power supply a couple times. At some point, the game kept resetting nonstop. I could not figure it out. It turned out it was the transformer, and I just got lucky and figured that out by swapping transformers with my Mad Planets, and it stopped. So I ended up getting another transformer from DJ DNS on Clav, and the game's been great ever since. When I got the game, it was missing the side art, which seems to happen a lot with Q*bert. So this is reproduction side art. The original marquee is not this. It said Q*bert, okay? And so Phoenix Arcade actually got the license to sell this version of the marquee, which was the very first version of the marquee for this game. Because originally, they didn't have a name for this character, so they just put this on there because that's what he said. And I don't think anyone really understood the game. And eventually, they changed it to Q*bert and then put it up there. So the very early games that were Q*bert said that on it, and no one really knew what it was, but that's what they were calling it. And so eventually, they figured it out. We're going to call him Q*bert, and then they changed the marquee. I actually happen to really like that marquee a lot, the swearing marquee they call it. But the gameplay is great. The controls are unique because it's a diagonal controller. It's not up, down, left, and right. It's up, left, down, right, and up, left. So to play this on MAME, it's a little disorienting. You almost have to rotate the controller, like 30 degrees, whatever it is. But let's play a game. And what's cool about this game is there's a knocker inside of it. Because, Gottlieb was a pinball company, right? And they had a lot of pinball parts laying around. And so they put a pinball knocker in this. And when Q*bert falls, or the bad guy falls to the bottom, you'll hear a big knock. Listen, hear that? That's a pinball knocker kind of simulating the little virtual character hitting the bottom of the real cabinet. I kind of like that. And he swears when he dies. And basically the idea here is to change all the squares to the color it says on the left. And right now it says change them to yellow. Now in the beginning you only have to step on the squares once, but later in the game you have to step on them twice, and then later if you step on them you change them back to another color, and it gets really hard. And they actually did a lot with this mechanic. It's actually an addicting little game. So Coily is chasing me. There's one more square. So I'm going to kind of point press here. And so if you jump on that little platform when he's near you, he falls off. Great sounds, everything about it is. So now these little guys are on the wrong side. And I like the little speech. The gibberish speech that's in the game is really effective. So we died. But that's it. Great game. I never did get my game to save scores. I need to put a battery on this. Alright, that's Q*bert. So next to Q*bert is Tapper. So Tapper I bought from my friend Ray West, the same guy I bought Tron from. He was an old-time guy, collector that got out of the hobby. He might still be in the hobby. I'm not really sure, but he was moving to Florida or something, and he was selling his stuff left and right. And so I grabbed a bunch of games from him, and I think it was Tapper and Tron. I feel like there's something else in the basement I got from him, or maybe it's gone. I don't know. But Tapper I got from Ray. And I haven't done really much at all to this game. I replaced the power supply and the monitor, actually. So I guess I did do some stuff. The monitor that's in here is a brand new Wells Gardner that I picked up from Wells Gardner I don't know, 3, 4, 5 years ago when they were kind of liquidating the last supply of CRTs. So that's a brand new Wells Gardner monitor that's only about, I think, 5 or 6 years old, maybe 7. So that's a brand new monitor that's in there, and I also replaced the power supply with another MCR power supply. What's cool about this game, and by the way, there's 2 versions of Tapper. There's the Budweiser version, which is what this one is. Now, the Budweiser version is bar-themed, okay? Obviously, it says Budweiser up there. It has these brass appointments. Okay, we have cup holders right here, and then also a brass, footrest down here, okay? So this was designed to go into a bar, and I think the artwork's just fantastic, okay? And then also, look at the sides, it's really classic looking, with the bartender right there. Can you guys see that? Try to get around the table here. So it's just a very, very classic look to it, almost looks like the TV show Cheers or something. But so this is the Budweiser version. They also made a root beer version, which is obviously more family friendly. Now the root beer version does not have any of the brass though. This is not here. The control panel just goes all the way to the edge. I personally do not like the root beer version. I like the Budweiser version because it's way cooler. And basically, you are Tapper, okay? And you can see the Budweiser logo right there on the screen. You are the bartender here trying to serve the patrons and get rid of them. And what's special about this game, of course, is the taps, right? So you serve with these little Budweiser serving taps, which is very cool. And so you move the bartender all around with this joystick here, and then you serve the drinks with this. And it's supposed to simulate pouring a beer. And I just think it's super clever. So the tapper guy, he's the same dude that's in like Domino Man, right? Remember the game Domino Man? Same guy. All right, let's start. Great sounds too. So basically we got to get rid of these guys. And if I poured a drink, he leaves the bar, okay? But if I wait till they get to the end and serve the drink, they might not leave. He might just kind of come down a little bit. See, he stops there. So that's an opportunity to point press, right? And eventually he's going to leave a tip. Now, when they leave a tip, some of them watch the girls dancing and some don't. So you have to kind of pay attention. Like this guy down here is watching the girls dance. So if I were to throw a drink at him, it would go right past him and I would lose. So right now we're just kind of point pressing. I could have cleared this level very fast, but I chose not to. But basically, once you get them all out, you pass the level. And that's that. And then there's this little bonus level. Actually, I'm going to just pass this really fast. I'll show you how fast you can actually pass it if you wanted to. Like that. So then the little bonus level is really clever. And when I was a kid, I used to play this a lot when I was a kid, by the way. I remember playing this at Great America in Gurnee, Illinois. So now this little guy's going to shake all the cans. We need to pay attention to the can he doesn't shake. So he didn't shake that one. Now we need to watch it. So now we need to open the can he didn't shake, which should be that one. And if we get it right, we get a 3,000 point bonus. If you choose it wrong, it explodes in your face. So now we're at the football stadium, and this is what the game is. You basically go from event to event to event. You go from the Old West Saloon to the football stadium, to the biker bar, to the alien bar, to the punk rock bar, Great game. So you have to decide, do I want the tip or not? Just a fun game. I really do like this game. So yes, that is Tapper, definitely one of my faves. Okay, so the next game over here is Mega Touch, and this is a Force 2010 and a half, okay? And this is the CRT version. Now, obviously, the ones they made at the end, and yes, they don't make these anymore. This company went out of business or they just stopped making Mega Touches. But the ones at the end were all LCD displays. This is actually the last CRT model, and I actually really like it. It doesn't bother me even the least bit that it's a CRT. I think it's a good-looking machine. I think it's a small, form factor, and I think it works and looks just great down here. And this thing gets a lot of play. My wife and I actually, when we were dating, we played a lot of Mega Touch, like a ton a ton of Mega Touch. We were addicted to this thing, and also Golden Tee. I mean, those were our two go-to games. So anyway, it's got a lot of like fun, just very casual, you know, card games and all that. If we go to main menu, you know, puzzle games like Lucky 11s is fun, and Castle Bandits and Try Castles. I'm sure you've played a lot of these games like on your phone, and really the iPhone pretty much killed this thing, because these are basically like iPhone type games. Like Tri Towers Trilogy is really fun. This one here, we have to go through and play all these different versions of Tri Towers, and basically what we have to do here is go high or low. 10 to oops, wait. Oh, the card's 4, so we go 3, and then 3 to 2, and then 2 to king. No, ace. What am I doing? And then we pick the next card. 3. Yeah, go as fast as you can. King. Oh my God, come on. 9, 10, 9, 10. 10, Jack. Jack, nothing there. King, ace, no, queen, jack, 10, 10, 10, no, 8, 8, 7, 6, 5, 5, 6, 7, 8, 7. We're going just up and down. 7, queen, jack, queen, ace, no, queen, no. 4, 3. Is this fun? 6, 5. All right, we cleared that one. 5, 7, 4, no. 8, no. 3, no. 10, yes. All right, we cleared this middle one. Ace. 5, 4. We had an 8. So yeah, that's the game. So there's just a bunch of fun games like that. You know, it's actually a fun game to come down here, right? You veg out with that, and then you play some card games, you have a beer, and you watch some TV. Life is good. So, all right, next to it here is my Neo Geo Red 4-slot. Big Red. This is a dedicated machine. This one I bought from an operator up in New Hampshire. The only thing I've done to this game is I replaced, or actually rebuilt, the monitor. It's got a 25-inch like K7000. But Neo Geo is amazing. When I was a kid, I played a lot of Neo Geo at the local bowling alley in Hoffman Estates. I remember playing NAM 1972 or 3, whatever it is, and also like Metal Slug. Bust a Move Again, I played a lot too on Neo Geo. Actually, there was a bar in Palatine, Illinois that had Bust a Move in there. My wife and I would play that actually when we were dating. So I really like Neo Geo, and I played it a lot into the late 90s because they were still on location. And it's great. You know, it's a cartridge-based system, and so it's always fun and easy to refresh these games. You know, right now I've got King of Fighters 98, Nightmare in the Dark, Bust a Move Again, and Blazing Star. So I got a fighting game, a little platformer, a puzzle game, and a shmup. And King of Fighters 98 is a great fighting game on this. And actually, if you press the select button right down here, right here, it says select game. So if you press that, it basically cycles through the games, and there's little EL lights up here that change. See how it lights up? Mine are really kind of faded. I need new EL, but you can see how you select the games, and it just kind of switches from EL to EL. It's basically this electroluminescent paper that's really flat, and it lights up. It looks really good on the Bust a Move one, but mine are really weak. I need to get new ones. This side is better than this side. This side's really weak. But anyway, you want to play a game? What should we try? Let's try Nightmare in the Dark, which is a fun game. This is kind of like a Snow Brothers type game. Wait, what's going on here? There we go. All right. This game is actually a little bit broken, I found out. It slows down. Like, I played one night with my friend Matt, and when you get deeper into the game, it really starts losing its charm. But basically, we gotta light these guys on fire, and then they turn into these fireballs, and you can clear the level. See that? I just killed everything. So we get all these jewels. It's a neat game, but I don't think it's fun to play, like, a long time. Because like I said, my buddy and I, Matt, we tried playing it for a while one night, and it just kind of got, I don't know, we just didn't like it after like 15 minutes of it. But I like the style like a lot. All right, come on. There we go. All right, see if we can get that potion. Move up so I can move faster now. There is a boss, which it might be 1-4, I'm not sure. So it's kind of got like that dig dug thing where you could... Ah, shoot. Ah! Oh, I died. Alright, let's kill this last guy. Alright, let's get the potion. Give me something good. Just a bonus. Alright, so this should be the boss here. Maybe not. Nope. Maybe it's after this. There we go. Kill them. Alright, so this should be the boss, I'm pretty sure. No. When is the boss show? Maybe this is it. Yeah, this is it. Oh, that's right, we gotta kill his little minion dudes to get our ammo. You gotta admit though, I mean the graphics and everything are great, but there's this, like I'm telling you, I played it like for a long time one night and then I didn't like it anymore. I was like after 15 minutes, Matt and I were both like, just make it stop. Alright, we gotta at least kill this guy. Alright, we need more minions to kill. Oh, come on. Really? There, we killed him. So there's all kinds of potions and stuff. So you can power our guy up. So his, whatever. You guys get the idea. I'm actually kind of getting into it now. It's a good game. It really is. But I'm telling you, when we play two players for a long time, there was a lot of slowdown. It just got to be kind of a mess. So, okay, the next game here is Bally Midway Burger Time. And this is a game I truly, truly enjoy and like. Now, there is another cabinet. There's the Data East version, which was like in Japan. This game actually originally came out on the Deco platform, which was a cassette platform, and then they eventually made it a PCB, and then Midway released it in the US in this cabinet. And then there's also this really quirky, weird version that was in Japan that I actually really like. And the Deco version also kind of came into the US as a kit. But this is the dedicated one that you would see in the US. And it's not a bad cabinet. I actually really like it. I just really like the Japanese weird version with the little hot dog people and stuff. They're very cute. But anyway, this cabinet has the Peter Pepper on the side. The cabinet is cut out like the profile of him with his hat, his little chef hat on the top. But in general, this game makes me very happy. And I used to play this a lot when I was a kid. I love the little hot dog and the Peter Pepper guy. It's great artwork. Now, this here is a reproduction marquee, reproduction bezel, and a reproduction overlay. My stuff was all pretty rough, And this game was pretty rough when I got it. And so all this has been replaced. It's all really good stuff from Richard this old game. You know, it's got the reproduction pepper buttons that Proc was making at Game Stencils. But in general, I didn't do a ton to this except swap out those pieces, which was very simple. I'm trying to remember where I got this game. Boy, I'm getting old. I might have got this from Dan, the same guy I got the Tempest from. I think I did. And I didn't do a lot to it, and I probably should have. But this is one of those games I just kind of threw in the basement, and that was it. It's been down here ever since. It's been a pretty reliable game. I think I only worked on the monitor. I think I capped this monitor, and I remember spending one day dialing it in because the convergence was really way off, and it looked really fuzzy. And I just played with the convergence rings for about a half hour one night and got it to look like this, and it looks really strong and great. But it's a fun game. You know, your Peter Pepper, the controls are basically this 4-way joystick and these pepper buttons here. But let me kind of demonstrate the gameplay for you guys. It's a fun game. So basically you want to make all these burgers, and for whatever reason, hot dogs and eggs are chasing you right now. And I guess the reason the egg is in this, I know I've told this before, and I read this a long time ago and I like it. The reason there's eggs in Burger Time is because in Japan, so if you use the pepper there, you stun the guys and you can drop them down like that. In Japan, having an egg on a burger is common, and actually it's something I really like. When I go to Red Robin, yeah, I want the egg on the burger. So you want to try to get as many guys on this as you can when you drop it down. That's how you get tons of points. And then let's come over here. I'm trying to get them to all kind of group together. I want to get more than one. Come on, guys. Yeah, so right now we'll get 2 guys on one. I screwed up. But basically you're going around kind of point pressing, strategizing, you know, when and how you get the guys on the bun when you drop it. But you really want to get them to follow you the right way, and they will. Like right now, if I, oh, god darn it, I'm not doing this right. Alright, we'll get the ice cream. So if you get the prize, you get another pepper, because you get limited peppers. Like right now I have 4 peppers if you look in the top right. So, oh my god, I'm so bad. I'm rusty. I'm actually pretty good at this game. My high score is 71 grand. That's not bad. That's nothing to sneeze at. But you totally want to get them to follow you, and you want to group them together. Come on. So right there I got 1,000 points. But I wasted a pepper. Whatever, just clear the level. But that's basically the game. You get all the burger pieces down, you clear the level, it gets harder and harder. But really the magic of this game is figuring out how to get them to follow you and to group them together. Because that way you can get a whole bunch on a bun and then drop it down. So, yes, Burger Time, awesome game. I've had it for a long time. You know, the games I've had for a long time, you know, are some of my favorites. You know, Burger Time's been down here forever. Tapper's been down here forever. Tron has been down here forever. Donkey Kong and Junior, obviously. I'm at a point now where I am out of room. Actually, well, I just made room by moving games to the hangar, so I guess I don't have that problem right now. But before we did that, I was truly at a point where I just didn't know what to get rid of because I really like every game down here. So, anyway. All right, moving on. 720. Now, guys, you know, I'm into skateboarding, okay? And I actually skateboard quite a bit in the summer, mostly longboarding these days. But, you know, when I was a kid, growing up in the 80s, I was a big skateboarder. You know, I had a Brand X weirdo. My friends had half pipes in their backyards. We were skaters. We had vans that looked just like this with checkers on them. So you look at all of this. You look at, I mean, this is my Trapper Keeper, you know, in high school. Freshman year, my Trapper Keeper looked exactly like this. I had a boombox that looked like this. So this game is me in every single way. You know, I had to get 720. I mean, I love skateboarding. I love this whole look, this vibe, everything about it. I had to have a 720. Now, I'm going to tell you, I didn't play a whole lot of 720 when I was a kid. I don't even remember seeing one in the arcade. I don't. I try to think of seeing one, and I can't remember it. The first time I really saw 720, I think it was at Richie Knuckles Arcade. But this game is crazy. On paper, this should be my favorite game in the whole basement. And by the way, it has this really crazy 360-degree joystick. But on paper, this should be my favorite game in the whole wide world. But it's not. You know why? Because I'm bad at it. I can't play it. I'm so bad at this game. I can't get, I don't know what it is. I'm not able to get these controls down. All right, so we have these different parks: jump, slalom, ramp, and downhill. All right, see, I already fell. And you're supposed to like constantly do this and get points, and it's yelling at me. So let's go to the park. So we're gonna do the jump park. You're supposed to do that, and then I fall. So, I just can't get this game down. I still like it, but look at, I'm falling. I'm just so not graceful at this game. Yay, boo, I fell into the abyss. So I failed to qualify. So yes, it's a lot of this. There's a half pipe mode, there's downhill, there's, I don't know. I like it, I really do, but why can't I get good at it? It's frustrating me. Because, like, you do that, like right now so you get points for jumping over hazards. So, see, look at that, I'm so bad. And then the bees are gonna come out and kill me. But it's a cool open world. I mean, it's got so much going for it. The music's neat. I need a ticket. I don't even think I can do the next event. Where is it? There's so many secrets. It's such a good game, though. Look at, yeah, I can't even, I need 1,000 points to get my ticket. So you're supposed to point, see, the bees are gonna come. That's 300. And I'm dead. So yes, I think that I need to do it maybe a John's Quest for something in 720, because right now I stink at it. So anyway, I got this game in a trade with my buddy Jay, with the Robotron and the R-Type. I don't regret it. I like the game. I do like it. I'm a little... I have a bit of a chip on my shoulder because I'm not getting better at the game, and it's driving me batty. So, anyway, moving on. All right, next to 720. Right here, my Nintendo versus Red Tent dual system. Here it is, guys. This thing really started me off in this hobby in a tinkering kind of way. This is the system that made me want to learn how to figure out how to do things. You know, I learned how to burn ROMs with this thing, okay? I learned how to swap chips and get confident touching PCBs with this thing, okay? Now, this thing's actually super cool because you have a single PCB in here. Now, actually, I'll grab one. There's a single PCB in this system, okay, that has 2 games on it, right? And you can swap the PCBs out with other games. And this was the magic of this system for me, okay? So like, for example, here's the PCB that's in here. And by the way, the games on this are very, very similar to NES games, but they're not. They're actually a little bit different. Like, so this right here, I have Super Mario Brothers on this side, and then on this side right here, this should be Dr. Mario. Yeah, it is. It's Dr. Mario, okay? And so what you do is you go out and you get these boards, okay, on eBay, and you put them in the board, and now you've got this game, you know. Over here, you swap these ROMs. You can see I burnt these ROMs, okay? And you find the PPU right here, okay? You get the matching PPU, you burn the ROMs, and now you got this game. But what's cool about this is that, well, if you've got this PPU, the picture processing unit, okay, it's RP C2004-0004. Well, this chip here is kind of like a security chip, okay? And Nintendo made it so that this chip works with Super Mario only, or does it? So it turns out, and this wasn't documented when I got into the hobby, it turns out that this particular security chip that's labeled Mario works with other games, okay? But which ones? Well, I figured out by going through the main source and all this, and again, this wasn't really documented when I got into this, that this chip right here also works with Ice Climber. Meaning, if I were to burn a new set of 6 chips and put the Ice Climber code on here and use the Super Mario PPU, I could then play Ice Climber with this, okay? So this opened up all kinds of doors for me, and I started collecting all of these PPUs and basically documenting on my site at johnsarcade.com and also nintendovs.com, nintendoversus.com. If you go there, I list what every PPU works with what set of ROM. So if you had a Super Mario ROM PPU, what could you do with it? Well, you could burn this game and this game and this game, and therefore convert. So say you had 2 copies of Super Mario, well, you don't need that, so you can use one for here, and on this side, take the same PPU and then put Ice Climber. Now you've got Ice Climber and Mario on one board. Does that make sense? Now, later in the game, though, they started putting the games on these daughter boards, which made it a little more pirate-proof and more proprietary, which is what Konami did with the 2 daughter boards I have in here on the PCB. I have Castlevania on this side, and Goonies on this side. Now, this Goonies is actually the one that was released in Japan, not in the US. It's actually a really good game. This is technically Goonies 1, I believe, and then the one we got in the US was technically Goonies 2 on the NES. It's a pretty cool game. So let's get some quarters. Now, right now, we've got 2 independent games, but there's also some other games for the Versus dual system. And by the way, yeah, it's 2 monitors, 2 sets of controls. Like, you could play a 4-player tennis game where you have 2 people on this side and 2 people on the other side playing head-to-head against each other. Super awesome. Or you could have something like this where you've got these games that are just working independent. It's like having 2 game systems in one. So let's go ahead and play a little bit of Goonies. I really like it. These are both kind of long-form games. Goonies and Castlevania, but they're fun. So it's kind of a weird game with these mice. So there's like secrets. I just revealed a diamond here. So I gotta remember what we gotta do. We gotta get the key or something. We gotta get out of here. Oh, there's a bomb. Oh, that's right. We gotta get the bomb and blow up stuff. So I think we gotta blow up this door, press down, and hopefully we get the key. So that's that key. I think there's more than one key though. So we got another bomb. So this key, is this the exit key? Or is there a door down here? No, that's the exit key, isn't it? So we're ready to leave, I think.
On your mark.
So let's blow this up. Or is there 3 keys? Oh, there's a free life. I think we have to get more than 1 key. I haven't played this in a while. I did like a video not that long ago on this too. Oh my god, I'm dead. It's a fun platformer though, once you remember how to play it. Now, I think there's 3 keys. We gotta blow up all the doors, basically. But I really remember playing the other Goonies game on the NES, not this one. But I actually think I like this one better. And I don't know why this one didn't come to the US. Yeah, alright, yeah, there's 3 keys, that's right. So we need to get another bomb. Oh my god. Alright, mouse, drop a bomb. Oh my god, I got blown up by the
On your mark.
Alright. So that should be the last key. Now we can get out of this level. It's got the Cyndi Lauper music. Goonies good enough for me. Alright. Yay! So we cleared a level. so that's the game. You know, it goes on and on and on, and eventually it gets to the Pirates Cavern and all that. But it's a good game. It's really fun, actually. I like it a lot. All right, let's go over here. So on this side I have Castlevania, and as far as I know, this is a straight up port of the NES version. Most of the games on the Nintendo Versus system are not straight up ports, which is why I like it. Like Super Mario is totally different. Excite Bike is not the same. Balloon Fight, absolutely not the same. Balloon Fight is like a two-player simultaneous game. But as far as I know, this is a straight port of Castlevania. I don't think this is my favorite Versus game, to be honest. Because I just don't really care to sit down here and play this for that long. Like, I never really understood the play choice system. Like, why would I want to sit in my basement standing up and play Zelda for 4 hours? But and I kind of feel the same way about this game. But, you know, it's Castlevania. I mean, come on. I like Castlevania. I respect Castlevania. I played Castlevania a lot on the NES. So I like it. It's just that I don't know if I could sit down here and play it to the end. I actually tried finishing Goonies to the end, so I don't know what I'm talking about. Maybe I should try playing this one night. It'd be a fun video, wouldn't it? If we were to actually try to play this all the way through. But God, I really did play a lot of Castlevania, guys. I mean, on the NES, this was some elite stuff. I mean, Castlevania was elite. And then it started getting just ridiculous. I just remember checking out, well, I remember the 3D version on the Nintendo 64, but like somewhere around, I probably the PlayStation, I don't know, I kind of checked out then. It started just getting ridiculous how the game was with the branching and the intrigue and trying to figure out the map. Oh, that thing. Like, I bought all these games for the DS and the 3DS and the Game Boy and all that. I mean, I kept up with this series for a long time. And I actually really did like the Nintendo 64 3D version. But at the end of the day, this game is all about this kind of, you know, exploring maze-like, you know, vertical up and down, whatever. So, you get it, it's Castlevania. So, all right, so let's go over here. So what should we do? We're done, right? We did it all down here. Can you believe it? It took a while. How long is this video right now? I have no idea. So here's what we're gonna do. I need to get out of here. It's getting hot down here. We need a break from the basement. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go to the hangar right now, okay? And I'm gonna show you the other games in my collection and also the games that we have on location at the Hangar Pub and Grill in Amherst, Mass. So that's what we're gonna do right now, okay? So we're gonna get in the car, take a ride to Amherst. I'm gonna show you the games in our collection there and also the games that are missing from the basement that are there right now. And then we'll come back to the basement, and then from there, I think we'll go upstairs and we'll check out the main cabinet and the centipede that's upstairs, and then we'll go to the garage and I'll show you the junk and the mess that's out there. And then we'll come back down and we'll have a drink, some popcorn, and viewer mail and all that. So anyway, all right, let's move on. Let's take a little bit of a break, and let's take a ride to the Hangar Pub and Grill in Amherst, Mass. We're at the Hangar Pub and Grill in Amherst, Mass. And so I was about to do the little walkthrough, and then I kind of noticed over here something was up with Star Wars, and I just pulled my tools out. This is my little toolbox I bring here when I work. But look at Star Wars. Can you believe this? So it's got Y deflection failure. I checked all the fuses on the 6100, and so the bottom half here is missing. So that's one of the frame transistors. So before we do the walkthrough, I'm gonna remove this and put it in the back because we can't have a dead game on the floor, and we're gonna have to address this later this week. What a bummer. I wanted to talk about Star Wars with you guys, but it's down. You know, this game's been, well, on every day, nonstop for the past 5-6 weeks, and it's been really reliable. This is the first time it's given us any trouble. So, anyway, all right, let me bring it to the back here. All right, guys, Star Wars is back here. So I guess we will not be talking about this game. So Easy fix though, it's just a frame transistor. We had wide deflection failure. We'll fix it this week, but for now I'm going to keep it back here because we don't want to have broken games on the floor. I think it just makes us look bad. So when they break, we want to move them back here and fix them back here and then bring them back. So anyway, good thing we caught it when we did. So anyway, let's kind of talk about what's going on over here. So Jay and I brought 30 games here, okay? And a large percentage of them are from Jay's overflow. A percentage of them are from the basement, from my basement, and from my overflow. Majority of them are Jay's. Now, some of the games that are here are not ours, okay? Like the Big Buck Hunter is not ours. There was another operator in here. So they have about 5 games. They have a Golden Tee Live. They have the Checks. They had the Monster Bash over there and the analog kind of throwing basketball game. But why don't we kind of go down here and we'll just kind of quickly talk about the games. It's kind of busy and I don't want to annoy people too much. Actually, let's go to the front first. Okay, so we moved these 4 games over here. Kung Fu Master, which is a Data East classic. You know, it's kind of sunny and bright right now. It's in the afternoon. But Kung Fu Master, I used to play this game a ton on the NES. I love Kung Fu Master. Super Mario Brothers, I like that game a lot too. That's the Versus Unisystem version. I play that a lot in the red tent. I like it because it's harder than the NES version. It's a lot harder. The jumps are a little more dramatic. Galaxian, Midway Classics, 1979. This came out after Space Invaders, before Galaga, and when it came out, it was super advanced, guys. This was a big deal, but then Galaga came out, and it was like, Galaxian seemed a little boring, but I still like it. Berserk by Stern, this is all original, not J-Rock. It's got the original boards in it. It's been pretty reliable. We replaced the battery, the sound wasn't working, I cleaned the pot, and it's been great. This game has speech synthesis, which was pretty advanced for, for its day. I like the game. I used to play it a lot in the 2600. I'm not sure it's really held up for me though. I don't really love it, but I respect it. So anyway, let's go over here, and also there's a crane machine that's not ours. All right, we're gonna try to get in here where people are not. So I guess let's go over here and look at the pins. Okay, so NBA Fast Break. So this was in the basement, okay? And I bought this game 6-7 years ago. And there's actually a reason why I bought it. And I know I've talked about this on the channel. When I was dating my wife, in '96, there was a Chicago radio station that was giving this away. And she went on the station and she competed against 2 other people, and whoever got the high score got to take this home. Well, long story short, she came in second. So we never got it. But this is one of the first pins I got. I absolutely love it. And I kind of wish it was still in the basement, but I knew that we needed pinball, and here it is. And really, of all the games I brought here, this is the one that makes me the most nervous because it's not as replaceable as the other games. Not that this game is rare, it's just that mine's a really nice NBA Fast Break, and it still is. But it's a really great game designed by George Gomez, who we met in the Stern, tour and all that. It has cool, unique scoring. It has basketball scoring. So you can see there, score 14. You could beat your friend by 2 points. It's kind of a fan layout. It's a great layout. I've done a lot of videos on it. Next here is my Ghostbusters. Now, I bought this earlier this year, and when I bought it, I had no intention of putting it here. And when I knew that we were really doing this and we needed pinball, I had to do it. I knew that it was the right thing to do. And it has been, because it's been our top earner. Now, I did kind of bling this out a little bit. By the way, this is the Pro version. So we did put the side rails on, okay? I did that in I have a video on that. We put the topper on up there, which is a very expensive toy. Is it worth it? Yeah, maybe. And then I also put a shaker motor in. But really, I like this game. Do I miss it? Yeah, I do. I still own it. It's right here, but for now, it's living at the hangar, and it's doing really well. It's a great game. I've done a lot of videos on this. Go back and check them out. Okay, so next to it here is Monster Bash. This is not ours, okay? It's the other operator that was in here, but this is a really rare and awesome game. Super awesome pin. All right, we're gonna come over here now. I'm just kind of avoiding the people. All right, so here's Donkey Kong Jr. This is Jay's, one of his overflow games. We already talked about it. We had this in the basement. This is my Donkey Kong 3, okay? This was at my friend Dan's house for a while, and I took it back from him, and now it's here. I love this game. I also have this PCB in the basement on my Donkey Kong Jr. with the switcher, but this is my original Donkey Kong 3. Actually, Donkey Kong 3 was a conversion kit, okay? So we had the kit installed here on a blue Donkey Kong cabinet. Now, a lot of people like it in the blue, they like it in the orange, they like it in the red. I like Donkey Kong 3 in the blue cabinet. I think it looks great. And if you look right here, this little instruction sticker, they never made this. I actually did the artwork for this, and then Rich at This Old Game sells this sticker right here. It looks legit, right? So the story with this game is I got it. Actually, I picked up this cabinet. It was converted to a RBI baseball. I got it from an operator in Cape Cod for about $50. I already had the kit. I don't remember where I got the kit, but I brought it home, installed the kit, and within like 10 minutes, it looked like this. And I rebuilt the monitor. It's been very reliable here. It's a semi-okay earner. Galaga 3, this is also called Gab Plus in like Japan. In the US, they called it Galaga 3. It's a sequel to Galaga. They just kind of added a bunch of stuff to it. It's a pretty neat game. I actually really like it a lot. This is a game I would play and MAME all the time. This right here, though, is the dedicated cabinet, too. This is a dedicated Gab Plus. Now, you can see on the side it says Gab Plus. The marquee says Galaga 3, and the board's Gab Plus. There's actually no wrong answer here. To really make it right, though, we should probably get the Gab Plus marquee. And then next to it here is Galaga. I mean, come on. What else can you say about Galaga? This is an original dedicated Galaga. Just, I mean, as classic as it gets. And this is an okay one. And by the way, the games that we have here, this is not a museum. Okay, we didn't want to put our most amazing specimens of these games here because they're going to get played a lot, you know, late night, drunk kind of people. So we're not out to make a museum. We want to have a nice set of reliable games that have some, you know, some wear on them. It's okay. You know, it's going to get more wear here. Next to it here is the Neo Geo. This is a 4-slot Big Red, same as we have in the basement. This one's got Bust a Move in it, Baseball Stars 2, Metal Slug, and the Last Blade. All right, let's kind of sneak over. Let's go back over here. All right, let's kind of talk about Mortal Kombat 3. So this is Jay's Mortal Kombat 3. It's Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3. The game's been doing pretty well. This is actually originally a Mortal Kombat 1 cabinet, you can see there. That was converted to Mortal Kombat 3. This is my Street Fighter 2 that was in the basement. This is the original, Z-back, I guess they call it. And it's a pretty decent specimen. I think this is an original dedicated cabinet right here. Now the overlay needs some replacing. I replaced the joysticks and the buttons. I rebuilt the monitor. This has been doing great for us. This is our best fighting game here. Next to it here is Jay's Dig Dug. Gotta have Dig Dug, right? I mean, what else can you say about Dig Dug? I love it. This is original dedicated. You know, it was designed by Namco, released by Atari. You're this little guy, you gotta inflate the people and drop rocks on them. My friend Don Hayes did, or still has, no, Ken House has the world record. Don Hayes used to. We did that one video at Greekers where Ken House kill screened it. Go back and watch that. All right, pole position 2. This is mine. I picked this up on Craigslist earlier this year, or actually earlier in 2016. Paid $100 for it. Brought it home, replaced the fuse, and it was fixed. I'm really starting to fall in love with this game in a big, big way. Now, this was living in the garage, and then the day we moved all the games here, I quickly fixed it. I did the bulletproof edge connector mod to it. Since it's been here, it's blown a fuse once. I fixed that, replaced the fuse block, and it's been reliable again. But pole position 2 really does play differently than pole position 1. It's a totally different game, especially if you play the Twin Galaxy dip switch settings. It's really hard, guys, and it's a nice, new, fresh challenge, and I'm kind of in love with it right now. But this one has 4 tracks. There's a test track, the Fuji track, the Suzuka track, and the Seaside track. I'm pretty much playing the Fuji track, which is the track that's in pole position 1, but come down here and play this. Right now, my friend Tim and I are going back and forth on the leaderboard trying to get the high score on Fuji. He just beat me. We're going to have to take care of that soon. All right, next to it here is a 79 Asteroids. This is Jay's, all original. Working, it's been very reliable. You know, I used to have Asteroids Deluxe, but great, great game. And then right here, the control panel, I guess the bottom half here was all ripped apart. So there's like a Willis overlay just on the bottom, but the top half is the original Atari. All right, next to it is a Marble Madness Atari System 1 game. And this is a 2-player simultaneous trackball game, and you have to basically get the marble down to the bottom. It's kind of a serious concentration game. I'm not really a fan of it, to be honest, but it's okay. Centipede, we've got one. We'll talk about it upstairs. I have the Cabaret. This is the upright, but, you know, very, very classic game. And this is a pretty nice looking all original cabinet. I mean, this is 1000% all original. Nothing's ever been done to it, you know? Like, this kind of stuff doesn't bother me more and more as time goes on. All right, next to it here is a Double Dragon. This is a great beat 'em up game. You know, I used to play this a lot on the NES. And actually, Adam just got one, and we talked about that earlier. But this is a pretty okay looking all original game. Again, all original, not touched, nothing. You know, it's weird how I'm starting to like this kind of stuff more and more. Like, I would not touch this overlay, you know? This is just, like, it's just like a classic car that has never been molested. I don't know, I love it. All right, let's see. Well, we got a bunch of people here. I'm gonna turn off the camera and we'll come right back. Actually, no, let's come over here. Let's talk about Turtles. So Jay and I picked this up a few weeks ago. We bought it from an operator in Rhode Island. We paid a lot for this game, way more than I wanted to, but it was kind of instant gratification because we really needed this game here. And this, again, all original. Nothing's been done to this game. Unmolested 1000%. It's got all the original joysticks, you know, the blue for Leonardo, the yellow for Michelangelo, the purple for Donatello, the red for Raphael. And it's been working great. It's earning really well, and we really needed this here. So we're looking for more multiplayer games like this to put here. And actually, I just picked up an NBA Jam that we'll be talking about later. So we have to put it together, but I bought it in pieces for like 250 bucks and from an operator, and we're gonna bring it here and put it together soon. Then next to it is an Outrun. And if you guys saw our video about this, we basically put this whole thing together here also. My friend Tim, and by the way, subscribe to his channel, that Tim guy, just search for it. He rebuilt the whole control panel here last weekend when we were here working all day. Now this has a red control panel, which I have never seen, and my friend Jay swears that this is original. so I don't know. What do you guys think? I've never seen an Outrun with a red control panel until now, and Jay says he's had like 6 of them. So I don't know, maybe it's a regional thing. All right, next to it is a Mortal Kombat 2. Now we have one in the garage that we're going to be finishing in the spring, but this is Jay's. You can see at one time this was converted to is this Tekken? What is this game? Yeah, Namco. That's Tekken, right? So at one time this was converted to Tekken and then converted back to Mortal Kombat 2. But it's absolutely a dedicated Mortal Kombat 2 cabinet. And this is a pretty good specimen actually for all original. Now I replaced all the joysticks and the buttons recently, and the thing plays awesome. And we'll talk about mine in the garage too when we go out there. But that's Mortal Kombat 2. All right, let's kind of come over here now. So Burger Time. Talked about that in the basement. Miss Pac-Man, we're going to talk about mine upstairs in a little bit. Frogger, we've talked about mine in the basement. Awesome classic. We've talked about Donkey Kong in the basement. Now this is a red one. Actually, this cabinet used to be mine. So I traded Jay this for my pole position. And this red cabinet I had, and it was actually, I converted to a Super Mario Brothers because I already had a Donkey Kong. So it was just an empty cabinet when I got it. I made it a Super Mario Brothers. I traded it to Jay for pole position. He then deconverted it back to Donkey Kong, and I do believe that those Super Mario parts I traded him are in the front and that one over there. So anyway, this is a great looking game actually. I'm actually kind of jealous now that it's been converted back to a Donkey Kong. I think it looks really good. So, and we just replaced this control panel. It's got some cigarette burns on it. Doesn't bother me in the least bit. It's just a cool little road-worn Donkey Kong. And then Punch-Out's right here. I used to have Punch-Out. I mean, this is very different than the NES version. And by the way, we're going to replace the monitor next week. It's got a curl here. It needs a cap job. So we just discovered this like a day or two ago. So anyway, this game is a lot different than the NES version. You're like this little transparent guy, and you got this hook and uppercut button, and guard up, guard down, left and right dodge, and left blow and right blow. So the controls are, I don't know if they're more advanced than the NES version, but there's a little more to it. And I kind of like that they made the guy kind of transparent as you're fighting. You can't see right now. But it has dual monitors too. The top monitor is more informational, but the bottom one is where all the action goes down. Dedicated mapping. And I actually really like this, and we're gonna actually be removing this from the arcade here because it's just not doing well. And I'm talking to Jay about maybe bringing this one to the basement. What do you guys think? I really like this game. And this is the dedicated one, which you rarely see, with the super tall marquee, and usually, and by the way, this cabinet is also the same for Junior Pac-Man. So you'll see Junior Pac-Man with that super tall marquee and also Mappy. And actually a lot of the Junior Pac-Mans will have Mappy artwork behind them from the factory. But it's a really cute game. I just love these little characters and all this. Left, right controls, you gotta open and close the doors. It's just a super cute game. And then next to it is a Pac-Man, which is a very seriously battle-worn Pac-Man. It is a rough Pac-Man, but it's super reliable. And you know what? It earns super awesome here. This is like one of our top 5 games. And then that's it. I think we've talked about every game here, right? The Neo Geo, I know we kind of bounced around, but then the Neo Geo, same as we have in the basement. I think we already talked about that, right? Okay, so that's everything that's at the hangar, right? So what we're gonna do now is, why don't we go back down to the basement, and then we'll go to the garage and we'll check out the upstairs and all that. But yeah, guys, come on down to the hangar too. We're making this place bigger and better as time goes on, and we're really into it. So, and also we have a Facebook page, facebook.com/John and Jay's Arcade. All right, guys, that's it. Let's go back down to the basement.